Here to co-host with me tonight. Benny put him up as a speaker. Benny texted me about a half an hour ago and said, "Open it up now. I got a vent." So I said, "You will wait, young Padawan." So he's here. As soon as it opened, he's knocking on the door. Lounge is open yet, man. I got these cheeseburgers, man. You're too funny, bro.
Bro, it won't let me tweet. It keeps deleting it. I don't know why.
We got. Maybe I'll have to do it then. You want me to do it? You want? No, you have to do it.
I just restarted my app. I'm gonna hope that was the reason why. Let me see.
You definitely got to do it because it's a mission. Anthony has to tweet something out. It's breaking news, and we want you guys to get it first. I love breaking news. Good stuff. All right. Really, as far as announcement, there's really like no huge announcements as far as what's going on with the lounge and stuff that we're doing. Up top, you see the Discord. Everybody has their own shows as normal. Ray's doing the halftime show and the fourth, after the game tomorrow. So definitely tune in and listen to some of that stuff. We've been having a lot more pop-up spaces going up lately, which is cool. There's always some Jets talk going on. You guys, want to come up to speak, let us know what's going on, what you're feeling for tomorrow. We could also chat about the Green Bay game. I'm sure it's been a long 6 days talking about the last game, and we want to move on to the next one. But it's my first show since Sunday, so if we want to talk about the Green Bay and how we're going to implement what we did against them to the Denver game, if it can be transitioned to the same type of game plan, we can all talk about the Jets and what we're going to do this week and try to extend this to 4 games. So there's really nothing crazy about the announcement. So go up top and check out the link tree. Sign up for the Discord. It's definitely a great thing. My parents are down in Florida. They can't get DirecTV where they're at. So rather than going to Buffalo Wild Wings and watching the game, they're able to watch on Discord with our streaming. Speaking of Buffalo Wild Wings, I went there the other day with my wife and kids, and just my son. My daughter was working, but we got the sauce. It wasn't too bad. It was like an Asian zing mixed with the spicy garlic sauce. It was pretty good, a little spicy. But all right, I'm gonna unmute everybody and Anthony, see if he's back, if he can actually tweet that out or not. But I'm gonna say hi to Anthony. I'm gonna unmute everybody. Go ahead. So, Ant, you there? You need to restart your app. What's going on here, man? Not able to retweet this yet or no? All right, Benny, what's up, dude? We wanted to vent. I'm gonna give you the mic, and you can vent to the faithful 15 of us in here, whatever we got right now. So go ahead, Benny. What's up, brother?
Yo, what's good, Justin, bro?
What's good,
going on?
What are we vetting for, man? Do I gotta start the clock now? What's going on?
Yeah, bro. So this is my thing. I tweeted something out earlier. I had a lot of Jets fans coming at me. So I'm just clapping back in a sort or kind of explaining myself. That's what I'm going to do. So earlier, I tweeted out the fact that I get it. We're all upset at Elijah. I don't want to harp too much on it, but we're upset at him. What he did was fucked up. He clearly proved to be not a team guy, not what we thought he was as an individual. It was a complete mistake. Hopefully he learns from it. But I kind of tweeted out the whole, I understand it that everyone's vocalizing their why they're upset, but at a certain point, let it freaking go. And I'm seeing a lot of messed up stuff. I saw a tweet today. Oh, Elijah Moore, you have a mental illness. Adding him, it's just so much negativity. I don't know, bro. We need to grow up. We need to be do better, bro. Honestly, it's frustrating the fact that he did that, and you know what I'm saying, there's no reason for it. We're 4-2. We're winning football games. Who cares if you're getting your stats or not? But at the same time, he's still a part of this freaking football team as far as I'm concerned, and he's not going anywhere anytime soon. The players know, the coaches know how important he is as an individual to this team. I know the stats may not show, we could win without him. Well, guess what? He's a special talent. He does a lot of things. that don't show up on paper. Defenses have to account for him in some shape or form. I'm telling you, it is what it is. And people are adding him. Oh, F you this, F you that. You're Elijah Moore is a piece of shit. You I hope you fucking sit on the bench and your career is over. Like come on, bro. He's still on the team currently. We're gonna end up needing him. I promise you, we're not gonna run for freaking 150 yards every game. We're gonna need weapons on the outside eventually. I know a lot of Jets fans are clouded and with we don't need wide receivers. We don't need explosive playmakers on the outside. We have Breece Hall. I promise you, Garrett Wilson's gonna get blanketed by Patrick Surtain tomorrow. Is he gonna get open nonstop? No, this is where Elijah Moore should be doing.
Yep.
He's an idiot for doing it, but at the same time, stop with the constant, nonstop. Elijah Moore. Bro, let it go. We have a game in less than 24 hours. And I've barely seen anyone tweet about, but the Broncos, but Elijah Moore. But let it freaking go.
Yeah,
we have leadership.
Benny, I feel you, man. And like you pointed out something great with Surtain. This is the game that he would have been eaten tomorrow with Patrick Surtain. He's probably gonna be going after the guy who's balling out. He's probably gonna go after Wilson. He might even go after Corey. You don't know. But then you're left with Mathis, who's a rookie cornerback, who's probably would have been on Moore, or he'll be on Wilson, whoever he's guarding. He's probably gonna get targeted a lot. He's a rookie cornerback, and last week he had 4 penalties for pass interference. So they're gonna be attacking him. So this is the game he would have eaten and put up some stats to help him with his contract. Now, his agent, on the other hand, he's the guy that you guys, every single one of these Jets fans should be a little bit more angry with than Elijah. Elijah's been brought up in the college we went to Ole Miss or whatever, and he went with DK Metcalf and A.J. Brown. These guys are in his ear all the time saying he was the best of all three of us. He's the best of all three of us. And these guys come to the league, and here's DK Metcalf with this contract now. Here's A.J. Brown getting his money. Well, whoa, I'm better than these guys. Why am I not going to get the money that they got if I was always told that I was better than them? So that's why he wants his money. He wants his stats. He's doing I'm a Knicks fan. Paid, man. They might put up stats, but you know what? Nobody wants a guy on a team that's going to be in the locker room showing these young guys that, hey, you know what? Just tell me you want more money. You did your time, man. You played high school ball, you played college ball, you played 17 games in the pros.
AKA Alvin Harper, right?
Exactly. That's what I'm saying, man. Like at some point, we have to, as a fan base, realize that these guys are doing this as a business too. So I get where Elijah's coming from. He's done his work to get to the league, but he hasn't done his work in the league to earn his paycheck. And you know what? The Jets are going for the rebuild from the ground up, and he's part of that build. And you know what? Maybe he's seen in practice that Wilson's damn good, that Corey's pretty damn good. I'm not going to get all the targets if my competition is just as good as me or better. Maybe he's seen the writing on the wall that he's not going to be utilized the way he thinks he's utilized that A.J. Brown and DK used because the other guys are better than the guys on that team. You know, maybe Garrett Wilson and Corey Davis are better than the guys behind A.J. Brown and DK Metcalf. So they're not worried about him. I don't know. I haven't really gotten in any spaces this week because of the whole Elijah Moore thing because I don't know if I'm mad. I know I'm mad because I want the guy to be on the team first and everything because I'm always for the team before I am the player on the back. But I also understand these guys coming from an athlete's perspective. You got to get your stats because that's where you're going to get paid. You guys all know this. And he went about it the wrong way at the wrong time. It's the agent is the one I'm mad at. This guy represented A.J. Brown, and he's also the guy who represented Deebo Samuel. These guys coming on winning teams, and he tries to use leverage when he doesn't have it. That's bottom line. And I just think that it's going to hurt him because we have other players that can step up and do the things that he's going to do. Berrios can step in that slot role if he's playing the slot role, the screens and the end arounds. But he's not a 50-50 guy. He should be in the slot, in my opinion, and Garrett should be on the outside for those 50-50 balls on the outsides. but they're not using him the right way. He's not getting his targets comparatively, but he is comparatively to the rest of the team. But to his boys from college and the ones that are in his ear saying he should put up these numbers to get his paycheck next year. But I'm rambling. I'm just giving you my takes. I've been holding in all week because I just don't know what to say about it. But all I know is that tomorrow, Denzel Mims is going to get a shot. He needs to play a little better. I don't think he's going to come across as this hero, and this is his opportunity. But you know what? Block. And when Elijah comes back next week or the week after, guess what, bro? You're not in too many pass plays. You're in blocking plays. Show Michael Carter setting the edge. Show where you're going to make a block down the field for Breece Hall. You're not going to be used the way you think you're going to be for the next 2 or 3 weeks if you're going to be used. So he shot himself in the foot. I think he should have went out there and took a page out of Denzel Mims' book and just shut up and try to prove your worth and earn your spot on the team. But he didn't. So I know your Bo was brought up. He's another one who's been humble and doing the right thing to get his spot on the team. And guys that are, like Ruckert, that just because you're a draft pick and you get the playing time, you get the targets. You got to earn it. So let's see. We got Blitz. What's up, man? Welcome to Jet Lounge.
Hey,
Justin.
Good to see you guys.
Yeah, what's up, Brandon Point? 1 sec. What's up?
So I agree with a lot of things that has been said tonight so far. On your end, Justin, and Benny's end. But there's also some things that I disagree with. I do think Jets fans are taking it too far and being, over dramatic in one sense. But as much as Elijah has been upset, I think the fans also have a reason to be upset with what he's saying on social media and the way he took it to social media to make it more dramatic and blow it up more than it should have been in the first place. You look at his Twitter, the Twitter banner right now, and it says you either quit or keep going, and they both hurt. I just feel like between that, the like tweets, the sub tweets, and all that, it's just getting, I feel like he caused it in the first place. He's instigating it, and I feel like it's not going to stop. This is the last thing a 4-2 Brooklyn football team needed. We're a young team. We're a growing team, and this drama is the last thing we need right now on a 3-game winning streak. And so I see why fans are upset at Elijah. I mean, obviously his agent too is responsible because there's someone in his ear that is why he has this change of heart all of a sudden. Because you look at the clips from last year, he said, I don't care about my stats as long as we're winning football games. And then this year, it's just the complete opposite. So someone's obviously in his ear, whether that's his agent, whether that's A.J. Brown, one of his best friends. There's someone in his ear. And so do I think he's young? He listened to the wrong person, made a mistake. Absolutely. Do I think he'll be back at some point and fans as well as him are going to be, supportive of one another again? Absolutely. But right now I feel like Elijah has a reason to be upset. The fans have a reason to be upset. And that's why we pay Robert Saleh. That's why he gets paid to do what he does. And he needs to resolve this as soon as possible. Benny brought up a good point. You can't run for 150 yards every week. We have Pat Surtain out there tomorrow. He's gonna guard Garrett. Is Garrett gonna get any targets? I don't know. But that's gonna open the door for other people, and that would be Elijah. He's a season and a third in right now, right? That's last season and a third of the way through this season, and he requests a trade. It's super unfortunate. He needed to be more patient, I think. His time was coming. We're in the stretch against top 5 defenses right now. So I'm gonna leave it with that. But I don't know. I'm sorry, but I'm understanding at the same time. But I just wish it wasn't blown up as much as it was because I think it was kind of unreasonable.
The reason why I think it's blown up the way it is because we're finally winning. We're 3-0 with Zach. We're finally finding out that we have a running game, and now we can come against teams that are good against the run and have a play action because they're going to respect the run. And that's when Elijah's going to eat. When we're throwing 60 times and they know that we're going to throw the ball 60 times because we don't have an offensive line to run behind or whatever the case may be. And now they're going to have to put their linebackers and their cornerbacks and their safeties on their heels because they got to respect Michael Carter. And now this guy, Breece Hall, out of the backfield on these wheel routes and his patience behind the line, he's running for 200 yards a game or total yardage. We got to respect this guy. So guess what? Now their eyes are in the backfield, and here comes more across the middle. Here comes Barrios across the middle, or he could run down the side on a play action. He beats his guy. He's wide open for down the seam for a bomb. He's got the speed. He can get open. But we were trying to establish how Zach's back from his injury and how he's going to be able to deal with having all these weapons. What a crazy, thing to say, that he's going to have to learn how to spread the ball around. But we got one thing before we get to the hands. Rusty, you're next, and then we'll get to ground and punt. We got some breaking news up in the top there. Anthony, you know what? I'm going to let you break the news to everybody. Go ahead, Ant. You there, Ant?
Yeah, I'm here, Pete. You hear me?
I hear you. Don't call me PD ever again. My name's Justin.
Justin. Sorry, I'm looking at Pete's name. Like, I don't know who's speaking. I can't hear anything. I don't know what the hell's going on with these spaces lately.
You can you hear me?
I hear you. Yeah, I can hear you. I don't. Who was just talking? Was it Benny?
Blitz was talking.
I can't hear him.
No.
Let me
All right,
leave and
well,
come back, Justin. I've been having trouble the last 2 days with this.
All right, leave and come back. It's that new track phone you got. Damn track phones, bro. He'll come back in. All right, listen, Anthony's going to come back in, but while he's trying to figure out his stuff, go look up at the board. I'm going to steal his thunder. He's going to come in and let you guys know, but go look at the thing he just put up there. Brady Quinn, he's backpedaling. All right. Saying that he didn't say such things. But Anthony, he's developed an infatuation with trying to get blocked with this guy. So, we're going to bring him back up. Anthony, tell these people to go check this video out, man, because these guys backpedaling.
Oh, yeah. He's saying that he never said 0-9. He said we wouldn't be favored in all the games. So, just went back and let's put it on repeat for him. Added my own little kick to it. Added a little music to it for him. And now maybe he can enjoy listening to himself with music behind it.
I love it, man. You know what's great? Actually, there's somebody in here. Where is he? I think he might have left, but he's got the old Jets logo. Where is he? He was up here as a speaker before.
Michael?
He's got the old Jets logo. No, it was on his cover. It wasn't actually his ad. But his cover it says receipts with the old logo. And that's what you just brought up, man. I love it. You're saving the receipts, man. This fucking clown. But Sack, what's up, man? We're gonna get to the hands. What's going on, Sack?
What's up, guys? Yeah, I was watching the preview for picks tomorrow, and then I noticed he said that. That's why I tweeted that video out. I took it from my phone. I'm like, what the? Like, no, we know what you said. So I'm like, that's why I tweeted that out. Whereas someone's backpedaling, and I copied Ann on it because I know that he would love to see that.
I saw you put it up there. I'm texting Anthony. I'm like, yo, look at this. He's sending me videos.
Well, it's already got
4,000.
I mean, obviously the Jets Twitter are crazy. Like an hour later, there's 4,000 people viewing it. So he definitely brought attention to himself. But he's lying. We know he's lying.
Oh, there he is. It's Mason Spain. He's got you guys check out his cover picture on his profile. It's got the receipts. It says receipts with the old Jets logo. Mason, that's awesome. It's really cool.
But yeah, I don't think.
Thank you.
Listen, I'm gonna take the other side to this. I don't think this gets fixed. I know It's a Blitz was talking earlier. Nice kid and all, but I don't think. I take the other side. I don't think this gets fixed. I was watching on Green Bean Show a little bit earlier today, where there's obviously that there was this whole thread going, and there was some guy, I forgot the guy's name. So everyone thinks that Moore created a burner, because if you read the whole thing, there's this guy that literally started Twitter that day or a couple of days ago, and he's like, y'all don't know what's really going on, and then he was like right into this guy that's sticking up for Moore, like, not a good look and this and that. And he's talking to him and he's like, yeah, all due respect, you really don't know shit about what's going on to D-Wood. And then Sauce gets into it. And Sauce is like quoting, a quote from the Bible in Philippians, where it says basically don't do anything for selfish, blah, 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 which is a direct shot at Moore. And that mystery person was like, that sounds like you're taking a shot at a teammate. and you know that that's not a good look or whatever. So whoever it was, if it was more, it's more. If it's not more, we'll never know. But all I know is this: this isn't going anywhere. This isn't going away. This is not going to get resolved. No one's going to kiss and make up. That's not happening. This has already gone way too far. I can guarantee you. We're not going to. Maybe he doesn't get traded by November 1st. Well, me and Ant, we've talked a million times about it, and we did the poll. We both think he's gone by November 1st. Unless someone's trying to sucker us into a trade, but if there's any trade that's attractive, he's gone. There's too much to risk, Justin. There's too much to risk right now to upset the locker room. We as Jet fans finally got something to root for. We're happy, and now we got this shit. I mean, I'm not going to say what she said, but I was talking to Connie most of the day through text, and I can say that she ain't happy. I won't go into detail exactly what she said. I wish she was on here so she could say it for herself, but she thinks it's, and she's the most lovable person. She loves all the players, but she was just like, not happy about it. So I don't think this gets resolved. I'll let you get to the hands. If you want to invite me to co-host or Benny, either one of us is fine. So you can add another speaker. I tweeted out the space so we'll get more people in here, and good job as always.
Yeah, I'll send you the invite, Zach. Chip here. Yeah, I think you might be right. I don't know if he's gone before November 1st. I don't think it gets fixed. Personally, I don't think he's gone before November 1st, only because his value isn't there right now with his stats this year. I think he's benched, and his replacements show up, and they say, "Look, you want to put up stats, or do you want to sit the bench and be worth even less?" So I think he sits for the rest of the year. He sits for a few games, sees Mims play well, Jeff Smith come in, play well, whatever. We still win. Sees that you're not as needed as you think you are, bro. You're not the one here. You're needed. We need you, but we can still win without you, or be in the games without you, whatever the case may be. But I don't think they're gonna, the Jets are gonna be tail between the legs and come on, Elijah, please, we need you. So I don't think it gets fixed right away. But I think that the fix isn't trading him before November 1st because I don't think his value is right there with the stats he's put up this year. I think JD and Salah do the right thing, and they say, sit the pine, your replacement's next man up, and you ain't going to be worth shit on the trade. And you know what? I'll trade you, but you ain't going to get paid your next contract there either because you ain't putting up stats here or there because you're sitting the bench for the year. Well, I don't know.
And Justin, one last thing. If you see, I'm gonna get a screenshot and then I'll put it up on the big board at some point, but when you have Sauce talking back, first of all, according to I forgot who was saying it, and I know the guys with their hands up, they probably have more information because I know Grounded Punt and Benny are plugged into this stuff. But when 3 veterans went to go talk to Moore, well, 2 veterans and a rookie. The one was C.J. Mosley. He talked to him to knock it off. Corey Davis told Moore to knock it off, and then you have Sauce Gardner, a baby, coming over there and telling him to knock it off. And then Sauce Gardner is actually tweeting at him with I'll get you that thing from the Bible where about saying, don't do anything in selfishness and self-admiration and all this.
I just put it at the top. So.
Oh, you did? Yeah, there you go. Do nothing out of selfish ambition or conceit, but in humility, considering others as more important than yourself. Now, don't tell me that just came out of nowhere. That's a direct shot right over to Moore, and don't say that he hasn't seen it either. This thing just keeps getting uglier, and that's all I got to say. You can get Benny and everybody.
Yeah, I agree. That's why I haven't really tweeted much about the Elijah situation or gone into many spaces this week because I'm like, you know what? Maybe he's, I don't know. I'm waiting for it to just, I don't know, somebody wake me up. This is bullshit.
And to be honest, like I said, everything would be fine if it was, and this is what I'm going to continue to say to everybody that's trying to, I'm not taking personal shots. I'm not saying anything, but this is my opinion. And to me, as someone who, I explained something to Petey where I played softball. We were in the playoffs. The pitcher got shelled the first game. We were in the second game. A kid made an error, and he walked off the field. And in my head, I told the kid that ran the team, if that kid comes back in this game, I'm walking off the field. So you want to give up on me? Like, you want to argue with your coaches? You don't like the scheme? You want to complain about not getting the ball enough? That's fine. When you requested a trade, you said you don't want to be a part of the Jets no more.
Right.
That's not a mistake. a mistake is he came out, lashing out at the coaches, complaining to the media about this, putting a tweet out about that. You made a decision that you wanted no part of this team anymore. And for that is the reason I don't want him here. It's the same thing I said about Revis. Was my favorite Jet ever. Never thought I would have somebody higher than him. And then he did it once, held out. The second time, I said, you know what? You don't want to be here? Trade him.
Yeah.
And you knew who he was taking his advice from, man. His uncle, who was his agent.
By
Was it
law,
Sean
right?
Gilbert?
Yeah.
So, I mean, these guys have people in their heads. And, I never thought that Revis was more – you were more a fan of Revis than Mangold. But what do I know? I didn't know you back then. But I know how much you love Mangold.
No, I at the time I was.
Yeah.
And I burnt his jersey. I had a picture, like I had stuff for his. I got rid of it all, sold stuff online, and I was like, I'm done. That's why I am so for Mangold. He started here, ended here, could have went somewhere else, and said, I don't want to play anywhere else. I want to be a Jet. And for me, that is the perfect player that you want. Same thing with Brick, Corbett. You want these guys. It's
AVT.
loyalty.
Now.
No, I'm saying for their careers. To
Yeah.
me, it's like, and you think this came up a year and a half into his career where he basically finished his full season just now? You think this isn't going to happen in the future? You're nuts if you think it's not.
Yeah.
A leopard don't change their spots. This will come up again.
Oh yeah, he gets a Pro Bowl. He's gonna say I'm sitting out unless I get paid more. I could see that. But listen, guys, let me get to somebody's hands, guys. I had them up for a while. Rusty, go ahead, and then we'll come back to you a second. Rusty had a hand up a while. Go ahead, Rusty.
Listen, most of you were here on Thursday and you heard what I had to say about Elijah Moore. I'm past this. I mean, Saleh did what he should do. He sat him out. He told him basically, I don't know what he said to him, but I'm sure he was not complimentary. I'm sure he was diplomatic in a way, but bottom line is he sat him out. He didn't even let him really practice. He's only allowed to work with the training staff. Now, that could be one of two things. Either he's not sure whether Joe Douglas is going to actually trade him, so he doesn't want him to have a chance of getting hurt or injured, or it might just be, this is your penalty. You're not going to be part of the team if you don't want to be until you decide and you make up, so to speak. I don't know what it is, but I'm past this because it's being dealt with, and I don't really care about Elijah Moore. I care about what's going to happen tomorrow. I'm interested in what's going to happen in Denver. I think that's really what we should be spending our time with because we want that extra win.
Yep.
We want to make sure that this team doesn't get distracted with all of this garbage with Elijah Moore. We want to make sure that they go in prepared, that they because everybody thinks that we're just going to walk in there and walk out with a win. But remember, they have a top-notch defense. We don't know how it's going to go. They're going to be playing their backup quarterback. Yes, I know I'm sure not that great, or he wouldn't be a backup who hasn't played in such a long time. But bear in mind, Mike White never played either. And because no one had film on him, he was able to win against Cincinnati. So we can't overlook these things. We have to, the coaches have to make sure they have a game plan that can help us to win and that they don't allow this to become a huge distraction. That's what I have to say. And that's, keep going on and on about Elijah Moore is counterproductive. First of all, we know that fans are not going to forgive him quickly. We know it. And I don't blame a lot of them. But we don't need to keep going and being outrageous about it because it's going to take care of itself one way or another.
Yeah, I mean, like
Yeah.
you said, Rusty, there's really nothing that we can do to change any of it. I mean, we're going to speculate it because obviously he's the future that we've been rooting for, and all since Jets, Jet Lounge and all these spaces have been about. Oh, we have Elijah Moore. He's a one. He's going to be a one. He's going to be a two. And then here you got a guy. We're winning 3 in a row. We're a quarterback that all year was. Let's just make sure that he's growing. Let's make sure that we're playing competitive football games. Not only are we playing competitive football games, we're beating teams 40 to whatever and 20, winning. We're beating the crap. Aaron Rodgers was put on the bench, guys. Like Zach Wilson's 3-0. There's some growth. We want to see him succeed. We have the rookies that are playing. Sauce Gardner, rookie of the week. Brees Hall, rookie of the week. And then here comes the guy. We were like, all right, cool. Don't forget, we have Elijah Moore too. And it's concerning because we don't want to throw in the towel on another draft pick that JD is, not obviously it's not his fault, but another draft pick that's just like, oh, come on, man. Like these guys have to be Jets forever because this is part of the rebuild and is a big part of it. 2nd round pick. But you're right, though. We have to focus on what the team is doing. Is they're focusing on Denver. I don't think that Sal is losing sleep over Elijah Moore. I really don't. I think he's probably saying, all right, let's see what the next guy can do and get me that first down that I need.
Justin, real quick, if Connie comes in, don't invite her to speak because she just texted me she'll come in to listen. She just, she's watching college football. So
Okay.
But she does want to listen in, but she doesn't want to speak right now. She said she watched 15 games today.
Oh my God.
It's crazy. She puts in a lot of work. Can't get it out of her.
Well, when she comes in, she's always invited up, but I won't.
Yeah, you could address her, say hello, whatever, and whatnot.
Yeah.
And
real quick, Mason, he messaged in the thread here. Just if anybody wants to come up and be a speaker, just request it. And then he asked how to raise your hand, guys. And if you raise your hand, there's a heart icon with a plus on the bottom of your screen. If you click that, it brings up all the emojis that you can clap, you can thumbs down, thumbs up, 100%, all that stuff, and then raise your hands all the way to the right. So if you guys need to know how to use it.
You can't raise your hand though unless you're in like a speaker role.
Yes, he's a speaker. Yep. If you have to be a speaker to raise your hand, yes, good point. So you guys want to come up and be a speaker, don't be shy. We all talk and there's no bad takes. So come on up and feel at home. But we're gonna get the hands going. We're gonna go Granite Punt, then Benny, then Mike, then Ant. So go ahead, Granite Punt. Floor is yours.
Hello, everybody. Good
Come
evening. I was listening to the beginning of the lounge. And then listening to Benny, and I'm like, oh man, I felt like we were gonna start talking about Denver and start going like 5-2. Right. And I'm like, man, because I'm all out on talking about Moore. I feel like a psychiatrist talking to a patient.
Well, look at the top.
That's like crying about his ex. That's like complaining about his ex-girlfriend for 2 years that he broke up with, and he's dating a supermodel. We're about to be 5-2. We've got Brees Hall. We've got, you know what I'm saying? We've got Michael Clemens growing. And listen, and then you listen to Sack, and I'm like, oh fuck, man. Shit, this sounds terrible, man. Look, I just DM'd Mims. So let's go, man. Listen, week 1, 1999, St. Louis against the Ravens. Nobody expected Kurt Warner to shock the world that week. Why not him? Why not Michael Clemens making a big play? We got Brett Rippon. We got a revenge game on him. He embarrassed us a few years ago. I think was it a primetime game too? I can't remember. So it was like a Thursday night game or something like that. But listen, guys, 5-2. Can you fucking believe it? We're fucking whatever it is, 18 hours away from being 5-2, man. Forget.
Did you just say I sounded terrible?
No. I'm saying
yes,
when you said everything, I said, "Oh my God!" It sounds even like when you mentioned Connie and everything like that, and you mentioned the players talking to him, and then the guy, it's just like, oh, you kind of reeled me back in for a second, like meaning like not that you sound terrible, but like just like I'm trying to just sneak a 5-2. You know what I'm saying? Like it wasn't
Yeah.
anything on you. You know I love you, man.
Well,
Come
are you gonna come to the bar tomorrow, real quick?
on.
A
I gotta
lot
pick
of
my mom. I gotta pick my mom up from Newark Airport at 3.
Yeah, tell him he sounds terrible to his face. That's what.
Loki. See, even
Uh-oh, he
Loki's
might
mad.
not make it to the
Even,
bar tomorrow.
even Loki's mad at Elijah Moore. Let's listen to him. But yeah, Zach, I want to talk to my wife when I get home from walking the dog and see if I can come out.
yeah.
I
I just
thought
wanna,
that was a Demigorgon.
Justin, let me shout out the bar, guys. If anybody's local or in Jersey, whatever, want to come over the bridge and go to the bar, it's in New Dorp Lane. All Jet Lounge stuff, all the staff decked out in Jet Lounge. It's a pretty special place. You got Carpenter, so Glenn Shep, Glenn's coming. Carpenter Jet on here, as well as Motivational will be there. Several others of you guys. We'll try to get T-Rock out there, whatever. But anybody wants to come through, it's I know T-Rock can't, but there's a lot of you guys that are not in this space that will be out there. So everything will be draped in green, and that bar tomorrow will be standing room only. So it's going to be pretty cool. And plus, you guys get discounts on food and whatnot just for being Jets fans and fans of the Jet Lounge and stuff like that. We're not selling shirts. They're giving shirts out. You just got an order of, I think, like 400 or 500 hats that would just be giving that out too. So it's a lot of stuff where just giving you guys Jet Lounge gear. We even do a 50-50. There's a whole bunch of good stuff there. So if you guys want to watch the game with the rest of your family, that's where we'll be at. You can DM me if you need the address or any of the details.
Yeah, it's good place, good time. Definitely have good food. Lobo Loco, Highland Boulevard, Staten Island. Definitely a good place, good people. So, yeah, let's get back to the hands. Who did I say was next thing? It was Benny, right? Benny, listen, I had the up top. I had it. You know how this rolls, man. We did this show together for a long time. All right?
Yeah, of course.
We do topics, Benny. All right. See the top?
I know. I'm done.
You
Five
already
and two,
come on,
Benny.
call me up.
5-2, Benny. Come on, Benny. Bring it.
He called me up at 7:30. He said, I got a vent. I said, all right, bro, call me up. Thinking it's personal, some friends are going to talk about. No, he wants to come on my show and just take over and talk about Elijah Moore the whole damn time. He's sending me pictures of him and Elijah. He's crying. Nah, Benny, I love you, man. Just messing with you. Let's get back to the hands. Let's talk some more Jets. You want to talk some Jets, Benny? Go ahead, man.
No. I'm done with that whole shit. I just needed to get that shit off my chest. But moving forward into this Sunday, when it comes to the Denver Broncos, can't convince me otherwise. This is, if you want to be a playoff team this year, this is a must-win game. This could be a game that, I'm saying, if we had lost this game and then we're in a playoff run, towards the end of the year, we look back and be like, oh shit, like we should have beat that Denver team, like that game, right? These are the type of games that could push you to be like one game away from the playoffs. This is a must-win facing a backup quarterback. Their offensive line is in shambles. Our defensive line needs to cause havoc, and their defense is top 3, hands down. I don't think Zach is going to necessarily have a great game. I think it's going to be ugly. I think it's going to be hard for us to even run the ball because they're that good. They're good against the run. They're good against the pass. If we're going to have a shot to win, we're going to need a little bit of the field position game, steal some points, and with a backup quarterback, we're going to need to create at least, I know we've been averaging 3 turnovers. I say we need at least 2 turnovers to put us in perfect situations where we're guaranteed points. That's my take. But if we're going to be put in situations where we got Zach in this offense having to put 10 plays together, go 80 yards, whatever the case may be, then it becomes a chess match with like who's going to budge, because both defenses are going to be balling out. So we need to get in those at the 50-yard line. You know what I'm saying? Like where we need 20 yards to get 3 points. We need to steal points that way because that defense is lethal.
Yeah, no, I agree. You know what, Ant? Do you think, Ant, you there? I want to make sure I'm not talking.
I'm here. Yeah, I hear you.
Do you think we stay with the same game plan pretty much as we did last week? Because they're very similar with.
I have a feeling
What do you think?
that they're going to come out throwing. I don't know. I just feel, and not the whole game. I just think maybe the first drive, Denver might try and stop the run, depending on how the defense looks. I could see them going play action early, trying to take a shot early to kind of set a tone to take control of the game, so Denver doesn't set the tone. That's what I would be looking out for. If they want to come up and stack the box, tight end might be an option early. We do a little play action, maybe get Conklin up the seam and pull them off that, stack in the box where they have to play the pass a little bit to open the run. Kind of the opposite of what we want to do because the defense is so good. I think you're going to have to really adjust to this defense and keep them on their toes because it's not like a defense we've seen. This defense is very good. Like, they really are. For as bad as their O-line is, their defense is just as good. So that's what I would be looking for. That's something, I don't know. It's the gut feeling, guess. That's something I would really look to maybe take the shot early to set the tone and put them on their toes so they don't know what's coming.
And Justin, can I say this one little quick stat?
Yeah,
Just to kind of hammer how good the defense the Broncos is. They've legit have given up 6 touchdowns so far this. Only 6 touchdowns they've given up this year, and they're 2-4. So that tells you that their defense is holding up and keeping teams, like keeping them in the ball game. And so they're fucking really good.
Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, the fact that we're 4-2 and they're 2-4, that's just crazy to begin with. Beginning of the year, we were, oh man, Denver's got, they got Russell Wilson, man. They're gonna be awesome. And here we are 2-4 because he's holding them back. It's pretty wild. Let's keep going with the hands. Let's go to Ant.
Yeah, what's going on, guys?
What's up, man? Need a big game from that guy that you got in your Abby there, man. You need a nice get him another pick. What's going on? What do you think about Denver this week?
Hey, man, it's no credit of my own. I wish I knew who put it together, but I found it on a Twitter thread somewhere, and I was like, I gotta screenshot this and make this the PFP.
Hey, Ann, it sounds like you're talking to a fucking cop. Real quick, I just want to say the Jets fucking suck. All your wives cheat on you, and your mother never loved you. Why don't you go?
He waited all that time to say that. Wow, man, go get yourself something to do, bro. Like there's a lot of things to do in this world to do than to just sit around waiting to talk shit to Jet fans when your name is Kyle Rittenhouse. Go find something to do, bro. I'm gonna talk to I'm gonna talk to him like I would talk to my 8-year-old son. Go find something to do, bro.
It's all
idiot.
Bro, talking about wives and
You're too nice, Justin.
He ain't seen nothing in about 10 years, I bet.
What he said about wives?
He said all of our wives cheat on us.
He wouldn't know. He'll get none.
Whatever.
Shit happens, guys. It's all good. But hey, aside from that stupid shit.
Sorry about that, Ant.
Yeah, whatever, man. It's all good. It's all good. But this is a point that I've made a few times this week on, the Jet spaces I've been a part of and I thought I've had. Denver, I mean, dude, it feels like their season's on the line, man. Like they're gonna be left for dead if they don't win this game. 2-5, us 5-2. Kansas City in their division, Chargers are gonna have a couple games on them. It's do or die for them, and I really feel like and that isn't to say that teams are easy to deter from game plans due to how vital their games may be. Like a game plan's a game plan, but really feel like they are going to try to force Wilson to pass because they've seen and they've been watching the film. They've been looking at our game tapes. The games that we've won, with the exception of the fourth quarter in Pittsburgh, we have done our day. And I know the Flacco game, but I'm sorry about that, guys. I'll make this quick. Yeah, I just think they're gonna try to make us pass the ball because they see that we've done our damage offensively through ground and pounding. Special teams has made plays for us, and they're looking at our film and they're seeing, Wilson hasn't been overly impressive. Let's stick on this. I feel like they're going to try to do that the first half. They're going to stack the box. They're going to try to take away Breece Hall. And this is going to be a big, challenge for Wilson. Will he rise to the occasion? Will our offensive line pass block as we hope they can? They looked good in the second half last week. Dwayne Brown, these guys, I hope they continue to step up and they continue to build momentum. I think that's what we're going to see. It's going to be on Zach Wilson more than any game up to this point this year that he's played. I definitely think so.
Yeah. And like I mentioned before when Benny was speaking, they got that cornerback Mathis. He's a rookie. They got to let Zach go after him, man. We got a lot of weapons. This kid's made some critical mistakes with the pass interferences. He had 4 of them in the last game. He's a rookie. Let him let one of our guys, maybe Brax, who's been there for a little while, or Corey, who's been there for a little while, go after the kid. Let Zach say, you know what? Let me throw after that side. I mean, I think Garrett's going to be lined up by Surtain, but shit, go after him too. Mason, what's up, man? You got that hand raised. You figured it out. What's going on, man?
Can you hear me?
I can hear you loud and clear. My man, I love your cover picture. I mentioned before. Got to save those receipts, man. Anthony saved one for our boy Brady. So,
man, they're
what's
selling,
going on, Mason?
They're selling shirts. It was a picture I found of a T-shirt that says that, and they're selling them on Amazon or Etsy or something like that. And I'm trying to find it where I can buy it from, like the NFL or Fanatics or something. And I can't find them, so I may have to order it through Amazon. But I need one of those shirts.
Good luck with that, Mason. You ain't never gonna find it from the NFL or whoever made those shirts is not affiliated with the NFL. And I'll just end with that. Won't need more than that.
It was great. Man, I'm looking forward to the game tomorrow. I mean, just a win in Denver, with or without Russell Wilson, a win in Denver would just be huge. Just like a win in Green Bay against a struggling Packers team. It's huge. And I'm really looking forward to that. And especially with or without Eli Moore. The only thing I raised my hand I wanted to add to that is when people talk about Eli Moore being a bad teammate and being selfish and being a baby and being a lot of things that I won't say because my wife's in the other room, I agree with it. And that's my instinct, is to just say, and as a fan, I have a right to, because I'm not part of the organization. I can say he's doing, that's wrong, that's this. But he's a second-year player with 2 years left on his contract. He's young, he's talented, and he is being a baby. And you know what we do? We don't throw our baby out with the bathwater. And a couple other people said similar things. He's just being a baby. And right now, this baby is more valuable on our healthy scratch list than he is anybody else's active roster. And if Joe Douglas and Eli Moore's agent want to try to figure out a move in the offseason that actually benefits the Jets, fine. If not, if he's a bust as a second-round draft pick, he'd be better off being a bust on our healthy scratch list than for somebody else's team. And I think the Jets and Saleh and Douglas handled it perfectly. And I think Moore is absolutely being a baby. But at the same token, as a Jet fan, I can't wait to hopefully be able to cheer for him again as a Jet. I want him to change. I want him to embrace the team. It doesn't look like he's the type of personality that's going to happen, but as long as he wears the uniform, I still want to hold out that hope that that's going to happen, because that would be the best solution. I don't want to see him get cast off just so I can just so it proves that I was right, that he's a little whiny baby. I really want him to sit around for a week, watch all his teammates play football while he's sitting home in New York and go, wow, I done effed up. And I'll leave y'all with that.
Yeah, no, it was a great take, man. I love the we don't throw our baby out with the bathwater there. That was good. But yeah, no, I think that he knows he's got the talent, and we're just all surprised. I think that's what we're all with Elijah Moore. We all know what his abilities are. We saw the flashes last year when he had that run last year, and we were all excited about it. We were just all taken by surprise. Like Ant said in a couple spaces this week, if you told me or any one of us that there was going to be somebody on the team that was going to be a problem, he wouldn't be the guy. Out of all the guys, we just didn't think he'd be him.
And how surprising is it that Denzel Mims is going to be the beneficiary of this?
Yeah.
Who just went through the same thing. For all intents and purposes, Mims as a teammate really could put his arm around Eli Moore and say, hey, man, I feel you. I've been there. I know what you're going through. But at the same rate, Mims is going, hell no, I'm not doing that. I want his spot.
Yeah, well, that just shows, where we all really stand truly as fans. We're all here rooting for Mims to do good tomorrow. He requested a trade. I mean, yeah, granted, it's a different situation. I don't want to compare apples to oranges, but you know, we're all still supporting Mims. Like, come on, Mims, show him what you got, man. Let's make this team. You know, I don't think there's anybody saying you want him to see him fail and say, all right, get the guy traded. He wanted to be traded, get him out of here. We want him to do good and say, okay, you know what? Do you still want to be traded, bro? Like, you did good here. You might want to stay. And that's probably what we're all hoping for if he does well. Same thing with Moore. Come back in and do well. And now you still want to be traded? Because now he's got to what? If he doesn't want to be traded, if he comes back and plays, he's got to pull that out and say, you know what? I don't want to be traded now. I lied. You know, like, or I played it out and we worked things out. There's a lot of backpedaling he's gonna have to do, and it's dirty, and I don't think it gets fixed. During the season, I don't think he gets traded. I said that before, but I think that Joe Douglas will make something happen. So I hope he gets value for him, and that's why I think he just needs to sit him and get him back in there with a good game plan and have him put up stats to help the team and to help himself, because nobody loses when he plays well. So we got to get him back in there playing well while he's a Jet. Let's go to Mike Nania. What's up, man? Mike Elias. I was just talking to Mike Nania before. Mike Elias, what's up, bro?
Hey, how are you guys? What was I gonna say? Yeah, for the love of God, I really don't want to talk about Elijah Moore anymore. Like, I beg you guys, let's get off that topic, because it doesn't really matter what happens with him at this point. Reality is, if you look at the last 2 games, we won them without any of his production, and we don't really need him. Quite frankly, Braxton Berrios and Garrett Wilson and Corey Davis can do just fine without him. Braxton is even a better slot guy and a gadget guy than Elijah Moore is, so I'm okay with him being out. I will say one thing. I don't like the narrative that he's a baby. He's not a baby. He's 22, 23 years old. He's not a baby. He knows what he's doing. He's getting advice from his friend AJ Brown and his agent. He knows exactly what he's doing, and I don't like the narrative that he's a baby. He's young in football terms, but I don't care. I had my MD when I was around his age. So I don't give this era thing or he made a mistake thing any credence. I'm sorry, I don't.
Yeah, Anthony said it before. It was, he didn't go to the bank and forget his deposit slips, accident or whatever. It was a mistake. He had to think that out. You're going to tell me that you're an NFL player making millions of dollars, and you're just going to be like, you know what? I don't feel like playing for the Jets anymore. You've been thinking about it. That's been brewing. And I don't know. I just don't know what the reason is. I mean, you've only played 1 year. Got great facilities. Young coaches, young team. You're getting the ball last year a lot. This year, we're still trying to figure out a quarterback. I don't know. Does he not believe in Zach? Like, that's the part that, that bothers me the most is like.
I don't think he does, Justin.
You know what I mean? Like, you're a receiver. And we heard that with Garrett Wilson, how he kind of, with Antoine, asked him the question about the ball being differently. And we all took it as like, oh my God, he throws the ball differently. Yeah, 2 different people. But did he like Flacco's ball a lot better than Wilson because Wilson's not good? Are we going to hear that from our receivers now?
Justin, look, over here we're fair, right? We see things both ways, whatnot. With Elijah Moore, I really can't see the other side, right? Because someone's asking for a trade, so the guy just nuked everything. It wasn't just like he was like going to the coaches saying, "What can we do?" He's not working with them. He wants to be traded. But here's the thing. Look, I think I probably looked at enough Zach Wilson tape in my life to last me another lifetime, and mostly college. A lot of college tape, and I'm telling you, I was over the moon to draft him. Okay. And I still believe in him. But if anybody's got to just do is look at all the games and his highlights or whatever, balls are thrown short. Balls are almost getting receivers killed because they're coming up high. I've said it to my brother a million times. We watched the game. I'm like, there's another high ball right here. And I don't know and I'm starting to believe it, that he's tall enough. I know we've seen a guy that was in damn near midget last night play. on Thursday night with Kyler Murray. He's tiny. He's not 5'9". That guy is no way 5'9". He's tiny, but somehow the ball always sails when Zach throws it. His arm trajectory, maybe he's throwing over the line because a lot of his balls get batted down. So I'm not, don't take it like giving him a pass at all. Elijah Moore, he's in my fucking shit house, but Wilson does need to do a better job of getting that ball and make it more catchable for these receivers. He throws a lot of stuff high. He underthrew Corey Davis on that, even though it's a nice, he's running and he's throwing, and I get it. But that's a touchdown if he leads them. He has to do a better job. He's not bad. He just got to do a better job. That's all. Because Wilson has to do a better job. And if it gets to the point where more receivers start getting frustrated, that's another problem, and that's a big one. So that's how I feel.
Yeah, it's just like, we're all as fans saying, oh, well, Zach's 3-0, we're winning games, but we got to remember we had to kind of come back, and Zach played well with Pittsburgh. The last 2 games, he hasn't really had to really do anything. It's been the running game. He hasn't thrown interceptions and cost us. He's been game manager, but maybe what he's seeing is we need a guy who's going to get me the ball and win us games, and this guy ain't it. I don't know. I'm speculating. But it's just, I don't know. I don't want to see Zach getting hit by a guy that's only played with him for a year and a half as a number 2 pick with his number 1 receiver saying that he wants out. It's just a mess. Big T.
What's going on, gentlemen? As far as the game, yeah, I'm not going to talk about Elijah no more. I said my piece about Elijah. I just hope everything just turns around him. I will give my take on what Sack said about Wilson getting him the ball or whatever. That's a combination of Wilson. That's a combination of the defenses they play. That's a combination of the coordinator scheming him and rolling him out and calling plays to his right skill set. There's a whole bunch of things there that go into that. So Elijah needs to be patient, plain and simple. Just like Wilson, just like Corey, just like Conklin, just like the running backs or whatever. They need to play within the confines of the scheme and the play, and the experience will come. Fuck forcing the ball to Elijah Moore. And I love Elijah Moore. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't go that way. It goes into the game plan on how to attack the defenses. This ain't just Wilson forcing the ball. He forces the ball, we're gonna lose. That's not how it works. As far as the game, I think the Jets are gonna. I guess we're guessing here, whatever. But I think personally, if it's a defensive struggle, I think the Jets are just gonna play the field position game. They're gonna try not to turn the ball over. They're going to obviously try to get points and kick field goals whenever if they're not try to force anything, because of the fact that if Denver can't move the ball with a strong defense that the Jets are going to attack them with, then you're going to get more of the same type of game. They're going to keep pounding until they crack. Then I expect the Jets to blow them the hell out in the third or fourth quarter. I really do see the same type of game as they did with Green Bay, unless the Jets shock us.
Yeah, I mean, I want to talk about a lot, of the game more than Big T saying than more. The game is in Mile High. They don't have Russell Wilson. Is Javonte Williams? Is he still banged up? Has he been playing? I mean, there's a banged up team. We're playing a team that's another backup quarterback. We played a Cleveland backup quarterback. It's almost like we're lucking out here. We're going to do it with the Pats too, most likely. I don't know if Mac Jones will be back. So let's take advantage of this stuff, especially with the young guys that can get to the quarterback and give them some pressure. JFM, Quinnen's going to be a beast again. I think we got to go after him again. And I think that JJ being out, we got to see if Bryce Huff can play the game that he needs to play. It's going to be, I think we're going to get after these guys. I think it's going to be a good game. I give us a prediction that we're going to.
I think Bryce Huff is going to have a monster game this week.
Yeah, that edge got it. Solomon Thomas. I don't think they're going to. I don't know. I just don't see them doing much on their offense. I just really don't. And with I don't know. Let's keep it the hands. Let's go over to Robert, and we'll go to Joe.
Hey, what's up, guys?
What's up, Robert?
Hey,
What's up, Al?
getting back to Sack, what you said a few minutes ago about Wilson skipping passes and throwing them over people's heads. I mean, and then I want to get into the game plan, but that's a completely fair point. I mean, he does do that, but in all fairness, there have been a lot of passes to Elijah's gut that have been dropped too. So, and I think part of the issue here with Elijah, and I don't think it's a coincidence. I know that this has been bubbling for a while, but I don't think it's a coincidence it happened on a Thursday, because by then they know their game plan for the week. And I think the game plans by LaFleur that I've seen have been a lot of early stuff in the first half that sets up the defense for stuff in the second half, both in routes and in the running game. I don't think it's a straight up like, okay, they're stacking the box, let's take advantage of it. It's more methodical than that. And I think that that's probably what blew the whole situation, the top off it, because they're not going to sit back there and have Mims just run out, go routes. And that was his, outside of that, he can't do anything. And it's the same with Moore. They're not going to sit there and just do whatever he does well. They're going to find the right players for their system. I mean, that's just the way these guys are. It's different than other coaching staffs, but we're 4-2 and let's see how it works. But they're going to have to do the same thing to Denver next week or this week or tomorrow, rather. They're going to have to come out and be methodical, set them up with the run game. They can't stack the box because our running backs are too good out of the backfield running it or catching passes. So if they want to bring their safeties up, they're really risking getting burnt there. So that's how I see the game. And on defense, I'm not even worried about it. I mean, if they score more than one touchdown against our defense, it'd be a real disappointment. So, but that's it.
Yeah, great take, Rob. I love the point of how our backs can get out of the backfield and catch the ball, and that brings up team safeties and leaves your cornerbacks one-on-one with dangerous receivers that we do have. It's a great point. Having to, it's big. And Brees is one of the best. He catches the ball out of the backfield, man. It's just great. Let's go to Joe. What's up, Joe?
Justin, thanks for calling on me. I was gonna sit and just listen back, but what Sack and Robert said, I do not agree with at all. Justin, if you're okay with it, me posting the thread I created earlier in the day.
Oh, of course.
I'm not.
Me and Anthony will check that out, man. Please put that up there. That'd be great because
it was really good, Joe. That was fire.
I appreciate it. I'll try to do that on the regular each week. The reason I want to bring it up is because of what Robert and Sack just said, that he's skipping passes and throwing them high. I haven't seen that this year.
You got to watch the tape, Joe. Go throw on the tape of a lot. I'm talking about. I've watched endless.
Which game? Because I'll watch the tape. Which game?
I'll send you a link in the DM. It's just look at any of it, even the college highlights. All his college.
Yes,
listen. The first preseason game, he threw it over Garrett Wilson's head by a mile, 4 yards away from him, and he does. Listen, the Corey Davis one, he did underthrow.
And I addressed that in the thread. So there's a couple things. He did that in the preseason, but he hasn't done it in the regular season. Now there's a reason why.
How many balls got batted down, Joe?
Because he's getting, but Sack, that's my point. He's getting better. Like it's like you look at this over 3 and 4 game samples. If they're not making the same mistakes, then you think that then you go operate on the assumption that they're eliminating that mistake out of their game. I'm looking at this from a scout's perspective. That's why I posted what I posted.
Joe, I sit in section 128 in the end zone. Right,
yeah,
right in the end zone. I've watched a lot of Jet quarterbacks play. There's some ugly passes he throws. from that
Which
vantage
but
point.
of the 3 games he's played this year, which games?
Well,
Because I'm not talking about last year. Like what happened last year was last year. Like this, I'm talking now about how he's playing so far. If he regresses, then it's going to send up a red flag. But so far, he's eliminated those high passes and the ones that he's skipping out of his game. Like we have to, like, if we're going to criticize the guy, criticize him. But if he's going to, if he's making now, let me finish this. If he's making progress, we have to acknowledge that too. And we can't throw up mistakes from the past until he repeats them, which he has not done so far.
Joe, what we're saying is, I mean, I don't want to speak for the other gentleman. I'll speak for myself. I think like on Twitter, it's either you're hot or you're cold, and you can't be lukewarm. I'm not criticizing him, but I'm saying that a lot. Listen, a lot of some of the negative feedback from receivers is on him too. I'm not giving anybody an excuse. Well, Elijah Moore wants to request a trade. That's horrible as a teammate, and they should give him his wish. But what I'm saying is that, and I'm a huge, if you came in my house, you would see huge supporter of Zach Wilson. My problem is that he is not. Listen, we can sugarcoat it any way you want. He's not playing well. He's just not.
But he's not playing poorly either. And I make that point. I'm saying he's playing okay. Like that's what I'm trying to get to. Is he's not playing great, but he's not playing bad.
They haven't
He's
asked
playing
him.
exactly how you would expect a second-year player with 17 games under his belt to play.
Joe, they haven't asked him. Joe, they haven't asked him to do a lot. And that Corey Davis long ball, if he threw it long, Corey scores in that play. He underthrew that ball.
He underthrew it because go check out the thread. I addressed that play specifically. Let me explain why that happened.
Hold on, get Rusty in real quick. Hold on, Joe. Stay there.
I'm trying to say, let Joe talk. Let him explain everything before you guys keep interrupting him. He has some valid points. I've seen the things that he posted, and I've listened to him. And I think he's right. And I just think you at least should give him the courtesy of letting him finish before you go and rebut.
Is that you're addressing me?
I'm addressing both you and Rob. I'm sorry. But
I think we're letting him. All right. Well, we're letting him talk. I mean, go ahead.
But let him finish. And,
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay. So the reason he underthrew the ball to Corey Davis, because if you look at the design of the play, it's almost a mirror image of the throw that the play that happened in Tennessee last year. It's a rollout to his right side with a Corey Davis out and up. The difference on this play is that Zach didn't set his feet. In Tennessee, he set his feet. And I think what's happened is because of the knee injury in preseason, he has come to an understanding with the coaches, and the coaches have told him, do not take unnecessary hits. They do not want him getting hurt. So like the play where he slid short on 3rd and 6, I think he did it because he's trying not to get hit. There's plays where he's getting a little bit skittish in the pocket, or he's getting a little bit cautious. He's not taking chances to get hit. If he set his feet in the Green Bay game to Corey Davis, he threw that over the top for a touchdown. I guarantee you he would. But there's things going on in this year and that are good. There's positives where he's throwing the ball in stride in the numbers or in the strike zone for his receivers to run with the ball. And he's throwing the ball, like he's not skipping the passes to the receivers in the short and in the flat. He doesn't have the yips anymore. From everything I've seen, he's overcome that stuff. So that is what I'm trying to say is the mistakes that he made last year, he's progressing. It's not fast. It's not instantaneous, but I see the progress when I compare the film. And I'm taking this from everything I learned when I was a scout. You take them in 3-game increments and you compare the mistakes they made in the past and are they eliminating them out of their game? And so far, he is.
Yeah, but I think, all right. So there you go. Here's my thing, my rebuttal to that. Now it forces me into a position where now I have to take the position on the other side, which then automatically, since this is Twitter, then makes me seem to be not a supporter of Zach Wilson.
I don't interpret that at all. I'm telling you, I don't interpret you that way at all. So we just get that, we established that.
What I'm saying is such a small sample size of 3 games, you're saying that you didn't see any bad throws in these last 3 games.
I didn't say that at all. I addressed that in the thread. He has several bad plays, but on the whole, it's a net positive.
But we could, so I mean, like anything in life, we can turn anything into a positive. You say, okay, well, he could skip 5 of them, and then but he didn't throw an interception, and then we can.
I'm not, Zach, you're misunderstanding. I'm not saying that. I'm saying of the 18 throws that he made, he had 4 that I would grade negatively, and then the rest would either be positive or neutral. It's how I was taught to grade a player post game. It's just 3 simple grades. Check, check plus, check minus.
Down there below, but she's busy. I so wish that she would have come up at some point, but we'll leave Connie alone. But here's the point. The thing is, though, is that, yeah, okay, he's not regressing, as you say, but he's also not progressing either.
I disagree. That is where I disagree with you.
All right. Well, I don't think he is, because guess what? The receivers have regressed. They have regressed. First of all, Garrett Wilson's on a milk carton, and so is Elijah Moore on a milk carton. And the only people that are not on a milk carton is the running backs and maybe Tyler Conklin, which is short throws because he's a tight end. So why has from Flacco to now the offense taken a step back? Because they have.
I'll address that.
Okay, go ahead.
Because Mike LaFleur is limiting the offense to 1 and 2 reads. He does not want Zach sitting in the pocket and trying to improvise, playing hero ball. It's either throw it to the first receiver, look for the second receiver, throw it, take a sack, or throw it away.
And we know this. You know this for sure.
I'm looking at the way the plays are running. Yes, I'm saying this from a point of education, Zach.
Yeah, I'm telling you. Well, listen, you can put a thread out and you can say how you feel, and I feel.
Look, we'll agree to disagree.
Yeah, I just feel that. Listen, I feel that Wilson. Look. If you say that the number 2 overall pick in the entire draft, and you're saying to me that okay, he's not playing bad, but he isn't playing good, then what the hell is he playing then?
He's playing.
He's winning.
He's winning football.
No, he's not.
He's not losing the game.
He is.
He's
winning.
not.
He's not turning the ball over.
Exactly.
This argument is so bad on you. He's playing the game that's schemed for him.
When did Brady Quinn get in the room?
Throw 40 times against good defenses. He's making the throws when he has to make them. I don't care. You're saying he skipped balls. The screen pass to Uzama was he angled around the defender, jumping in the air. It was a completed pass.
Listen, I'm saying he needs to be more. Listen, like I think he just needs to be more consistent, because with him he could throw some awful passes and then throw a pass while he's running and hit somebody.
He threw a horrible pass across the body into the end zone. It was a bad pass, but it's not a skip pass. Those things need to be addressed, and that's what Joe does. But to say that he's regressing, he's not bad. He hasn't thrown he hasn't had a turnover yet.
No, and I'm saying the receivers have regressed.
I don't agree with that either.
To be found.
Zach, if you look at the film, the receivers aren't regressing either.
Well, let me ask you a question. Listen, not to give this guy a pass, but why do you think Elijah Moore's mad right now? Do you think why would you get?
I can address that too. Because he wants to play out of the slot, because he wants to be able to take advantage of the smaller guys, the linebacker matchups, all those things. But Garrett Wilson is a bigger wide receiver, and I will show you the plays where in the slot he is bigger and he is able to seal off a linebacker and allow the running back to get around the edge. Moore is just not big enough to take on most linebackers consistently. The team is winning because they're running the ball exceptionally well. And there's no reason for them to be taking chances, throwing like 15-yard deep out routes all the time. It's only done to set up the running game right now. Until some other team takes away the running game, there's no reason for the Jets to change their offense.
Yeah, my point is, you say that he's winning. I understand, because he's the starting quarterback. I'm not saying, and again, see, so Terrence says, where did Brady Quinn? So this is how this goes. And I hate to even try. So it's like, if you don't agree with people about your own guy, it turns into now.
Zach, I'm not
that's
coming
how
at you.
it is.
No, I'm not
I like
coming at
that.
you from that. I'm not coming at you from that perspective.
Not
I
you
promise.
are, but a lot of people. So since it's a Saturday night and this is how this rolls, let me explain you something. For me personally, to tell me, I understand that they're running the ball now, but they didn't have to run the ball a lot with Joe Flacco. That's why I threw 50 something.
Which is what set me off in the first 3 weeks and why I was losing my shit on Petey and everybody, because I thought they should have been doing the same thing they're doing now.
Well, apparently they felt more comfortable with Flacco back there throwing 50 times than they.
And what did that get them?
They were losing games though, Sack. We're ahead. If he throws a pick six in that game against Green Bay, the game is completely different. What did he do? Screen pass to Uzomah, get a first down. Quick pass to Conklin, you get a first down. You're going to make them quick passes. You're eating the time, and they won 27-10, and what was it, 40-17 against scored 67 points in 2 weeks. Why would you change that?
No one's changing it. I don't know where we're going.
But Zach, I think I know where you're coming from. They're not winning in spite of Zach Wilson. They are winning because of him. He is making the throws that are in front of him. Like this is very different from when Mark Sanchez was the quarterback.
I don't know that, because this team's very similar to the 2019. Great defense, great special teams, and a good enough quarterback at offense. It's almost the same. And Bart Scott said it today too. It's almost identical to that team. It's almost identical.
Almost. But it's not.
Joe, can I just
cross my heart and hope that I promise you this is different. Go ahead.
I'm saying, I'm raising my hand, but I just wanted to know the argument. I came in late, so I don't know the argument. What are we talking about, Zach?
The argument's getting old.
It's not an argument. I'm going to explain it to you right now. I'm going to give you the perfect example. Okay, Week 1 against Baltimore, it was what, 10-3 going into the middle of the third quarter?
Yes.
Okay. Last week against Green Bay, what was it at halftime?
Tied at 3.
Tied 3.
Okay. What did we do in the Baltimore game the second half?
Threw the ball, I think, 5 out of 6 plays.
Okay. What was the final score of that game?
What was it, 27-10?
24-9.
Okay. We ran the ball last week against Green Bay, took control, scored, went ahead, and continued to do that, and we won 27-10. You don't have to throw constantly to win games. If you get a lead, you can throw when needed, quick short throws. That's why he's not throwing 50 times.
Well, no, but
now we go down, we go from 10-3 to 17-3. Now you're forced to throw the ball. And now you go down 24-3. Now you're forced to throw the ball even more.
And I'm in agreement. I'm not in a disagreement. Yes, I like the offense. I like the run the ball. I don't even know where this spun out of control, but I need to press rewind and come back to reality. I'm not saying that that's not how we should be winning. I'm all for the ground and pound as long as we're winning. I don't care if Garrett Wilson scores 3 touchdowns and 5. I'm not Elijah Moore here. Okay. I want to win, and I don't care about everybody, what they get. What I'm saying is, right now, the jury is still out. You'd be lying to yourself if you said
This is why I'm saying I'm not having a massive disagreement with you, because at no point do I want to say definitively Zach is the guy. That is not the point of everything I'm saying. I'm saying the mistakes he made last year, he is improving on. So it's not a case of he's never going to do it, but it's also a case of he's doing the things that may make him our franchise quarterback. There are a few things that, he has to improve, but he just needs more experience. Like I lined it out right there. He has to have more confidence throwing against zone. I want to see him fix that after the bye week. That's when I expect to see him taking more challenges there.
I agree. I said
he had more confident against pressure. He's inconsistent with that stuff. And then throw into his left. I think that's still going to take 2 years, because that is so That takes so much fine motor skill and repetitive practice. But he's getting there. He's getting there.
Yeah. Well, this all started with the conversation of Zach throwing the ball high. So that was a nice conversation. Yeah. That's where that started, Zach.
Well, I mean, listen, the ball does come. The ball does, and listen, anyone that has a pair of eyes can see the ball, and we can go back. I know we don't want to go back to last year, but you have to go back to last year because there's a more sample size than this year. This is still his preseason. So I get it. This is still his preseason. So obviously, yes, do I see things better from him? Sure, yes. I'm just saying the ball does sail on this kid. And I don't know, if you're a Jet fan, you watch games, you can't lie to yourself and say it doesn't. It does. The ball sails on him a lot.
It's just a trajectory, I think, is with the way you're talking.
I think we're going to see when he has to win us a game and throw the ball.
That's he did. Didn't he do that in Pittsburgh or no?
No. I agree. But again, I want to see it multiple times.
Yeah.
I agree with you because I brought that up the other night too about he did what he had to do in Pittsburgh. I'm saying I want to see it done. I think what I could say for Sack and what I could say for Joe is he did it. Now it has to be done consistently. He proved we could win with him. Now I want to know I could win because of him.
I agree. I agree with that. I agree with Joe. I agree with you, Joe, too, on a lot of things. I just get, for me, it's like the way you can stick up for him or you can be critical, constructive criticism without sounding like some hater is the fact that if you look at certain things, and another thing is like we're all going to sit here and say, okay, look, he was the number 2 overall quarterback. So you know how people defend him? The people defend him by saying, look at Trevor Lawrence, look at Justin Fields, look at Trey Lance, how bad they are. So it doesn't matter how bad they are. They're not. That's not our team. That's what you hear on Twitter. They'll be like, yeah, but look at Trevor Lawrence, how bad he is, and look how the rest of the league. It doesn't matter. We took him number 2 overall, and as of right now, that all of them, all the quarterbacks, maybe besides Mac Jones, and I'm not a fan of him either. Right now, all of them are not good as of right now. Not very good right now. That's how I look at it like that. I think we're winning by great defense, very good special teams putting us in the position to win. You seen last week, block punt, block field goal, this and that, fumbles, special teams, and a great defense. Defense is playing out of its mind, putting us in the positions to win, shortens the field. We haven't, like Anthony said, we haven't asked him to go out there and to win us the game yet. And tomorrow's game plan, you'll see, it'll be like a 13-10 game, and and pound the rock. And if we come away with a win, that's what we want. I don't care if Zach Wilson's Patrick Mahomes. I swear to God, I don't care about that.
Yeah, you know what I'm seeing a lot of Zach is like it's a lot. It reminds me a lot of Sanchez here. We're getting a lot of our defense is great. He just needs to be manageable. And if he has to win a game, let's see what he can do. So I want to, like you said, you're going to see it multiple times, and just he has to lead us and show us that he can win the game with his arm. If their defense is great against the run, and he can go over the top. But let's get to some of these hands, man. A lot of people have been waiting a long time, and I apologize, but thank you so much for waiting. Let's go to Charles Jimenez.
All Joe's fault.
Joe is good. By the way, I did like that thread, so go back to that. It's up in the
I appreciate that. Thanks.
Do check out the thread. Charles, if you're still there, buddy, thanks for waiting for a while. Charles Jimenez, if you're still there. No, if he's not there, let's go over.
Y'all hear me?
Yeah, go ahead. Jeff for life. You go ahead. You've been waiting a while too. Just for life, you're in Blender, man. I can't hear you. Breaking up.
Like, what were we debating about as far as Sacks? Sacks, what Sacks was talking about? Y'all hear me?
Well, we're just talking about.
Please let that debate die.
Jeff for life. I was just saying that.
There you go. Go ahead.
Zach Wilson is doing better, but I don't think he's doing what I just think that he could play much better. I think the team's winning in spite of him. That's how I feel right now.
Well, the only reason why, like, for me, it's like I get where you're coming from, but then I don't, because he's not turning the ball over and he's not doing dumb shit. He's playing in that offensive kind of mold almost what they want him to do. And like I heard before, he didn't really have a preseason. He hasn't really played consistently. So I think they kind of gonna let the cuffs off of him. But for right now, he's kind of playing in the mold of that defense, running the game, good defense, good special teams. But it will, Sacks. I can. It's going to happen to where we're going to have to see what he is. It's going to be a defense. It's going to be a tight game, like Pittsburgh, and he will do it again. But I will never tell you, Sacks, just from me, that I'm sold on him. I'm not sold on him. I'm hoping, this is hope, that I hope he's going to do well and be a top 5, top 10 quarterback. But for right now, I'm not there yet. I'm not there. I want him to be there, but I'm not there yet. I'm just not.
That Jeff for Life said it best. I have hope too. I think but anyone that thinks in here they know what he is now, don't know.
They're lying. They're lying. They're lying. It's not what they don't know. They're lying. They're lying. Don't nobody know what what Wilson is going to be.
Hope and 50 cents won't get you on the bus. You can have
but
hope.
I think it's coming though. We're going to see Sack now. It's going to be a point. And hopefully we're in the playoffs when it happens. So it's going to happen to where we're going to have to figure out. We're going to see what he's about. We don't know what he's about right now. Right now he's managing the game. He's making the passes that he's supposed to make. We're not putting that ball in his hands. And truthfully, I don't want him to have to do that. I never want him to have. If we can win just like how we winning now, because December, winter, all this stuff is about to come, and we're gonna have to run the ball just like we're doing now. So I don't know how it's gonna play out, but I want it to keep like this if it can. But I know we're gonna run into a team to where he's gonna have to throw it. It might be tomorrow, Sack.
Jeff for Life. I'll tell you what team that is. It ain't next week, but it's the week after. When we play Buffalo, then you get to see everything that you want to see.
Because there you go. You're right.
You ain't stopping Buffalo, and we're playing teams that have really bad offenses, including the Packers. So when we play Buffalo, then we'll get to see everything that everybody wants to see. You want to judge? Because we're not going to be able to just play great defense and run the ball in Buffalo.
This mold that Robert is doing right now, it's pretty rough on quarterbacks. If we can generate consistent pass rush with 4, and we can drop everybody back in coverage, we know who did that. Who did that and won a Super Bowl and shut down the undefeated team? Y'all know who did it. Who did it? The Giants. Yeah, exactly. So when you do that and you have all of them in coverage and you're trying to fit balls into little places, bad things happen sometimes. A lot of times.
The Bucks just did that to Kansas City a few years ago too. Made the Bucks change their whole draft to go in.
This mold that he's doing right now, and especially how our cornerbacks are playing Sacks, it's going to be tough. It's going to be rough on some offenses because it's hard to throw when everybody's in coverage and you just getting pressure with 4. That's rough. But I'm gonna fall back. I appreciate y'all, man. Hey, let's whoop up on them Broncos tomorrow. That's what I want. That's what I want.
Let's go. We're gonna win, man. 5-2. Let's roll, and then we'll take our home game against the division rival and the Patriots, and give them a lashing too. So I'm on to this game, and I'm excited. So let's keep it with the hands going, guys. You guys want to rebut anything anybody else said, or start your own topic? Go ahead. But let's Mason, go ahead. Maybe wait a little bit, Mason.
All right, can y'all hear me?
Yeah, hear you, man.
Okay. Yeah, I was thinking about tomorrow's game against Denver, and Robert Saleh is a defensive genius. He was a defensive coordinator at San Francisco. He earned that job through the interview process. He was brought in there to be a linebackers coach and said, "I'll only come if you give me an interview for the coordinator position." And he knocked it out of the park. And then in just 2 short years there, he had a defense that helped carry Jimmy Garoppolo to a Super Bowl. And what the Jets are facing against Denver tomorrow, I mean, I know what Brett Rippon did to the Jets and broke our hearts 2 years ago, but this is different. Robert Saleh and his defense are going to bait Brett Rippon into making mistakes. Brett Rippon will have no clue the mistakes he's about to make that the Jets defense puts him in a position to make. Not only will they make him make mistakes, but Rippon will make the mistakes that we want him to make. Salah's a genius at that. And I don't see any way where Rippon stands a chance, because what Rippon did to us in 2020, he was not going up against a defense like we have right now. And then as far as Zach Wilson goes, I don't care if he sails the ball, fires it at people's feet or whatever. If he could complete 64 to 65% of his passes, I don't care what the misses look like. Right now, he's only completing 55% of his passes. So if he can complete 60 to 65, his misses can look however he wants them to make. So it's not about whether he's sailing the ball or not. It's just a completion percentage. Everybody in this room would like to see him complete a higher percentage. That's really the only thing that's going to matter. But tomorrow, I don't think it'll matter because Rippon doesn't stand a chance against our defense. And I'll leave you at that.
Yeah, I mean, Brett Rippon played against us when we were 2-14. We had Adam Gase. So I don't care who he beat that year. He didn't beat this Jets team. So tomorrow he's gonna get a beating with the rotating defensive line that we have and the coverage that we're gonna have against him. It's a different Jets team, different coaching staff, different players. It's going to be different, and I can't wait till we go to 5-2, and then there's excuses and you played it back up, whatever. 5-2, let's go. So let's get to some more hands. Let's go over to Big T, and then we'll get over to Terrence. So let's go. Big T, what's up, man?
What's
up, brother?
I'm listening to Joe and Zach because I'm not letting this just pass or whatever. It seems like everyone wants Zach to, they want to win sexy or whatever. Or I agree with Joe. You know what I'm saying? I don't see Zach making the same mistakes. I think Zach. I keep saying that Zach's mental makeup is what I look at when I'm seeing him or whatever. He's taking the game plan and he's running with it. And to say that Zach didn't do anything or whatever, obviously Zach had to make some plays in order to move the football for them to score. When he hit Usama and he hit Conklin, he hit Corey Davis or whatever, there's certain points in the game. A game's not going to go perfect. I don't understand why people want a game to go perfect. You know what I'm saying? We need to understand the kid is in his second year. You know what I'm saying? I expect if you would give me these critiques next year, then you know what I'm saying. Then when usually a quarterback takes the big step in their third year or whatever, but now he's making the plays and be like, oh, Zach, Zach didn't win a game. No, we saw Zach win a game, and we saw Zach excel when he beat Pittsburgh. You don't want to give him credit because Pittsburgh just beat Tampa. Okay, and they started to play better or whatever. That's gonna start looking a lot better when Thomason has that young team playing better or whatever. It's sometimes within, because I know Zach obviously loves the Jets or whatever and stuff like that, but sometimes we want to give bad excuses even to our own players or whatever, and then you wind up seeing other teams later on. You're like, damn, we beat that team or whatever. It doesn't matter, whatever. Zach won the game in Pittsburgh, and he made big time throws in that game or whatever. He hasn't had to do it in the other games, but he had to make plays, and he's made winning plays, and he hasn't made errors. And that's when the mental game. That's what I keep looking at. I said Zach has it between the ears. When everything else, and I keep saying when everything starts to develop, and you're gonna probably start to see things happen probably after the bye, and week 8 or whatever. You're seeing it with the defense. They're more advanced than the offense, and usually that's the case or whatever. But don't be surprised. In one of these games, like you be saying, oh, I think Zach's they're gonna have to throw, and Buffalo's not gonna be stopped by whatever. Well, What if the Jets defense runs front shot on Buffalo and makes Josh throw 3 interceptions or whatever? Like they said, if they able to rush and they're able to play the way they play, rush with 4, and they dropping in coverage 7 and 8 or whatever, they have to throw dimes in there. And if they mess up, then that's obviously a key for us or whatever. This is a week-to-week league. We think we're going to know what's going to happen. Zach could go up there and throw a 300-yard game, and we're going to be like, holy crap, or whatever. Then obviously we're gonna want to crown him, which we should still stay with the same energy or whatever, because one game ain't going to mean it's going to be like, all right, he's progressing the way we want him or whatever. As long as he's playing winning football, that's all we really need to care about. All the sexy stuff and this fantasy football crap needs to go out the window. That's not real football. Right now, they play real football, and that's winning football.
Justin, can I jump in there? And this is what I was afraid of.
Yeah, go ahead, son.
This is what I was afraid of.
You talking to you?
So what happens is that you see where it comes, like what Big T Rock just said about fantasy football and the sexiness and stuff like that. And this is what happens when you say one thing and someone leads to another and says, oh, no, that's not what we want. I don't even have them in fantasy football, so it doesn't matter. But I'm saying, it's not what the point of it being is that I'm saying that anybody in here cannot say for absolute sure that this guy right here, Mr. Wilson, and if he was in this space and you asked him, are you playing up to what? Even he would probably say, no, I can always improve that. I'm not playing up to what the standards is that he wants. What I'm saying is this team's built around the defense, an excellent running game. We've all called it with Breece Hall in July, June. We was talking about that. I think it's based around defense, special teams, and a great running game, and Zach doing enough to win. So it's not a negative against him. Is what I'm saying is that all I said was that the ball comes out high. And then people took that into like, uh-oh, now he's attacking no. The ball does come out. It sails high. A lot of the throws come out high. You almost got a few people killed, Corey Davis being one of them. Then people are saying, oh, you can't go back to last year. Well, what are we going to look at then? You can't go to college either. So you can only go to what he's doing now. But he hasn't even had the opportunities, attempts enough to intelligently evaluate him because all the throws they have him throwing most of them are quick strikes, like Joe said. And if that's done by design, I get it. But the sample size this year is not enough. So you can only go back into history and take a look. And historically, when he throws the ball, it does come off high. I don't know if I need to go into a compilation video and then post it to show, but it does sail high. And I was just wondering, and that's why this whole thing started, why does it come out high? I know that it does. I'm just wondering why. And I think that a lot of his balls get batted down. That happens quite often. And I don't know if it's thrown over the line because he seems to be like Phil Simms said. Phil Simms said on the center, when he drops back, not so great, but when he's on the run, he's deadly. So Phil Simms' joke the other day was like, and Chris mentioned that his father always says that when he's on the run, if I was them, I would always move him out of the pocket because he's so deadly out of the pocket and deadly accurate. So that's all I'm saying. It's not an indictment against Zach or an indictment against what I'm saying. It's like, look, if you're a fan, you can see things both ways. I would love to win 10-0 tomorrow. I would love to win 3-0. I don't care. I don't need the flashy stuff. I'm not a flashy person when it comes to that. I don't need it. I'm just saying that, I don't know. You're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't. This is a kind of a talk show where we can get to debate different views without someone just automatically just jumping on somebody and say, oh, and then everybody piles on by saying, oh, you see, well, oh, you're negative. No one's being negative. Listen, I'm probably one of the most positive people about it. But I'm saying there are areas that we can improve. If we all thought we were great in life, we would never improve. If I thought I was the best at everything, I would never improve. Things I need to work on. There are things Zach Wilson needs to work on. In creating a thread, what Joe did, I reviewed it. Great thread. And he was I guess a former scout back in the day, and I respect it. So he knows a little bit more than I do, obviously, since he has been trained to be a scout. But we all have eyes. We all see. And they're not asking him to do a lot. I get it. But at some point down the line, he's going to have to do that. And then when we hear from people, it's like, oh, you could see he might go out and throw for 350 yards. That's great to say. Based on what? He's never thrown 350 yards in his career, short career, but he hasn't done that. So that's all hope. I don't live in hope. I live in reality, and I live in what we see from week to week. So now what happens? Tomorrow he comes out, throws 300 yards. We'll get back into the space tomorrow at the OG show, and then people are like, see, Zach, I told you. And then, but that's not what I'm saying. So it's not what I'm saying.
So Zach, so what are you saying?
What I'm saying, well, how this all started, T-Rock. I don't know if you're in here.
No, because
you're saying a lot of the balls.
Just like Joe's saying, Zach, just like Joe's saying, you're talking about the high throws and everything. We all agree with that, but that's not happening right now.
It's because
in the confines of his complementary football, the complementary football that he's doing, he's not making those mistakes now. That's what we're talking about. But you keep going back at the high throws and all that other stuff.
All right. Well, he is making mistakes now. First of all, that one that he rolled out and ran into another defensive end and got sacked, that was no pocket awareness. That's number one. Number two, the other one, I think we're forgetting. He rolled out one time, and then they threw him up. I don't know, it was a trick play. He dropped the ball, and he's running out there, and there's a few of them that could have been disastrous, like the throw in the end zone. We forget that because we beat the Packers. How about the one he's rolling out, and he throws the ball in the end zone into triple coverage there, and he's lucky it's not. So if it doesn't result in the
I know, I understand you. It's not gonna be a perfect game. But if was a fifth, we'll all be drunk. They didn't make the play, so that's you don't think you're not gonna be like, oh my God, he should have thrown an interception, but they didn't make the defense didn't make the play, so it wasn't executed.
No, but that's not the point. That's like, oh, I'm gonna drink and I'm gonna drive, but since the cops never pulled me over, then it never happened. No, what do you mean? If you're making those throws, that's a problem.
Zach and T, I want to ask you a question, but Terrence had his hand up before me. I really want to ask you guys a question. Can we get to Terrence and Mike?
Yeah, I can't wait till Ray gets up here. He's gotta see it some way. Yeah, but go ahead.
Hey.
Hey, Terrence, what's up, man?
Hey, man. Hey, everyone. Hey. All right. So I kept dropping out because at first I thought, Justin, you were in the Matrix, but then when everybody else started being in the Matrix, I knew it was me. So I had to walk home and get back to my Wi-Fi. But Zach, me and you are friends. We just had dinner together a month ago. But I mean, these bad takes have got to stop. I mean, you were also leading the charge for Peyton to be the coach next year. And you also led the charge for, besides Ray, who's in here now too, about Ulbrich. Now what are we talking about? We can't live week to week about these things. And the only thing I remember about throwing high for Zach this year was that he threw the ball a little high to Tyler Conklin, and in my opinion, Conklin should have snagged that one. I haven't seen the passes being high this year, but I will admit I thought he was inaccurate against Green Bay. But I also attribute that to the fact that they had a couple of good cornerbacks, like Jair Alexander was all over Wilson, like he was covered. And, they did have a good pass rush. I don't know. It's like, I'm not trying to say Zach isn't good, but then we spend 10 minutes nitpicking about the 2 or 3 things that he did wrong. I just think it's got to stop. That's all. Yes, there were 4-2, and we're talking about this. And to me, I'm not going to let a disgruntled wide receiver dictate who my quarterback is going to be. Number one, everybody talks about the best game Elijah Moore had last year was with Joe Flacco. Well, if that was the case, why wasn't he dominating in the 3 games that Flacco was throwing 50 passes? He wasn't. So I don't think this is necessary. Maybe Elijah Moore thinks it's a Zach problem, or maybe there's something under the surface that we don't know, and Samini and these other beat writers are going to bring up eventually when it comes out in the wash. But in my opinion, Elijah Moore will not be on this team next year. I don't think they're going to trade him this year unless somebody makes some type of offer Joe Douglas can't refuse. But Zach Wilson will be on this team next year. I don't think Elijah Moore will. And that's the end of that. I really don't want to talk about this stuff, especially when we're 4-2. If we were 1-5, then maybe what Elijah Moore was saying would be more valid. I agree that Zach Wilson's not perfect, but you know what? None of these quarterbacks from last year's draft are playing well, and I'm just glad we got the quarterback that's 4-2 right now, and is basically trying to fit into the system that the coaching staff is building for him. And to me, that gives me confidence that if he's playing well under the constraints of this system, that they will also develop him in time to be the quarterback that, as Anthony said, will eventually, win us games like he did against Pittsburgh more consistently. But I think the game plan did dictate something totally different from last year. And also, like, we've been ahead in these 3 games that Zach has quarterbacked us, which is totally different from the first 3 games. And that's not just about Zach. That's about the defense finally waking up and a whole bunch of other things. But I also think that's the reason why they got Breece Hall and they developed the run, in my opinion, because they wanted to get ahead in these games and then just keep running the ball, because look what happens in the 3rd and 4th quarter. And I'm going to end there on that point. The second point to me is tomorrow. I think it's important that we win, so that way Elijah Moore realizes that we can win without him, because this is a team game, not a one player out of the 11 game. I think we need that. Denver has always been a place where we do not do well. That's another reason we got to keep this. We got to keep this roll that we're on. Go from 4-2 to 5-2. Keep winning, building. A winning culture. Just keep that positive vibes going. And to me, it's Jeff Smith, step up. It's Denzel Mims. You're going to get an opportunity now. It's Braxton Berrios maybe getting some more touches, whatever it is. And who knows, maybe Zach does pull it out for us in this game with the right scheme, because I think as some people were saying, maybe it was Joe Bagonis, that eventually teams are going to say, we got to stop Breece Hall and make Zach Wilson beat us, and Michael Carter. We got to stop the running game, and that should open up possibilities, because it won't be, they're going to have to, if they put 8 men in the box, it is going to be man on man. It won't be zone. So that's where, people like Garrett Wilson, will basically, with that ability to get open, that he'll be more open than he is in a zone. And also, let's just keep this defense going. I mean, I just think we got this great combination. Hopefully, DJ Reed, Sauce, basically making it impossible for Rippon to find anybody. They don't really, Melvin Gordon, I don't know. They benched him last week. I don't know what's going on. What's going to happen there, but they're depleted at running back. Let's just hope the defense does its job. And because to me, they're a frustrated team. Like supposedly after the San Diego game, a couple of one of the defensive players was, trying to be diplomatic, but the frustration was there. I think if we force turnovers like we did against Green Bay, or basically frustrate their offense, we don't know what type of coach Hackett is, but he's not really showing signs of being confident right now. But to me, we can get this team frustrated. It could be just like the last couple of weeks, where in the 3rd and 4th quarter we just break away, and then this is another happy victory Monday, and Zach can just start the show right after the game at 7:00, and then we can all talk about it, talk about a Jets victory, And, and then obviously bring up some of the things that this team needs to work on in order to beat teams like Buffalo that we know right now. Those are the yardsticks for this team. If we keep winning 5-2, see what happens against the Patriots, see what happens against the Bills. But if we get to the point where we're in the rarefied air of being a playoff team, then we got to start talking about how do we beat the Bills and the Chiefs, like when it comes playoff time. Thank you, guys.
Hey,
great points, Terrence. There was one point you made in there, Zach. Let me cut you off, but there was one point you made in there about Elijah Moore being, his best game that we remember him having so far. It was with Flacco, and then that made me think so far that's also been Garrett's. So let's hope that they can connect, and maybe that having them tomorrow with a team that has some inexperience on the defensive corners, and the fact that they're going to try to play a zone, and then when they try to play a zone, we have the threats coming out of the backfield that maybe makes their safeties cheat up, and that leaves them into a man coverage, and maybe gets Garrett a one-on-one. But I got a lot of hands up. So, Zach, what were you trying to say?
No, I just wanted to rebut real quick with
go ahead.
Since he reached out to me directly here. And look, hindsight's 20/20. It's okay to say, yeah, like you were advocate for Sean Payton. Yeah, shit, man. Anybody be advocate for Sean Payton? Hall of Fame, be a Hall of Fame coach. Yes. But I wasn't the only one in here. Let's not get a case of amnesia where everybody forgets. 90% of the people were down on Saleh. So let's not all of a sudden say, yeah, everybody was supposed. Listen, we got them recorded. We know who's who. So I don't like to hear that stuff where, you were advocating for this. I also advocated for Breece Hall, and that's how that worked out. But we're still advocating for a lot of things that worked out well, but we'll never bring those.
Right. I didn't, though. I was more, let's wait this year out and see what happens. That's all I'm saying. There are other people just like that. It wasn't just like 90%. It's just some people just feel like they got to, come up with something at the moment, and just sometimes, like I said, we can't live week to week. We could lose tomorrow and everybody's going to be in here upset. And I think everybody has a right to be. I was upset in those losses too.
Yeah. No, I don't think so. In this space here, and like I said, this is just like a game of telephone. It's like all I was said would touch this whole thing off, and I probably want to put an end to it because it just gets ridiculous. And what happens is I'm saying, look, if we had Saleh in here right now, we said, give us Zach's good points, give us Zach's bad points. Saleh's not going to stand here and be like everybody and say, oh yeah, listen, he's doing what he would be supportive, but he would also say, look, there are some things he needs to clean up. I'm saying there are some things that he needs to clean up. And when someone said, well, he can't be a perfect quarterback. Well, he's not, and no one's perfect. I'm just saying that, basically there are things that he needs to clean up. We can't just all of a sudden say, look, he's not doing this, he's not doing that anymore. It's 3 games. So we want to see progress. I'm trying to defend a point that's not supposed to be defendable because it's not out about any specific player, as in terms of like talking negatively. I'm saying constructively, there are things that you see that you wish were cleaned up that were better. And, and anyone to say that, I mean, there's so many people in here. I won't even say that even last year, we're like, I don't know. I got my, I'm not sure about this kid that have told me directly, either on the phone or through DMs. They say, I don't know about this kid. Now all of a sudden it's like we're winning, and people say, oh yeah, well that's no. So I don't know. So again, you know what? Can you, Justin? It's your show now. Can you get to Ray real quick? Because I know he has a lot to say.
Yeah, Ray, real quick, go ahead, and then Brandon Punks. I know he was trying to get up before. Go ahead, Ray.
I was just listening for a while. Good show as always. Shout out Ant, Zach. Listen, and I understand where Terrence is coming from. To me, Zach Wilson is still an unknown. A lot of people are saying that, a couple of people I know, just like you were saying that we don't know if he was the answer last year. They're almost ready to move on from him. We know those crazy people, but at the end of the day, he's still the unknown. And I don't want to hear any excuses about this week. We're facing another backup quarterback. We win and get the hell out of there. Zach's got to be accurate. He's going to have to, he's still almost like, I don't feel like he's a one-read quarterback at this point in his career, which isn't a bad thing, but that's the progression of a young quarterback. That's something we watched Tua take that step. We watched Josh Allen take the step, especially towards the end of his second year. We have to see Zach Wilson take that step. And we can't listen. I'm not blaming Zach for the Pittsburgh game. I'm throwing out. It's his first game back. He's thrown in it like his first preseason game. He wasn't asked to throw the ball the last 2 weeks because of the run game. But this week, I think he's going to be asked to throw because they're going to stack the shit out of the box. That's what I would do. I would say I haven't seen this guy hit anybody deep this year, not one receiver. And for all those people saying, oh, Elijah Moore, we'll stick Barrios and shit, put him in the slot and Jeff Smith. It's completely two different things. Elijah Moore is a complete threat out there. Those guys, if I'm another team, I'm not worried about Braxton Barrios burning me deep the way Elijah Moore can. So I hate those comparisons. Too many people are like, oh, it's Denzel Mims season. I don't get that at all. There's a reason why he can't beat out Jeff Smith for a roster spot or Braxton Barrios for the fourth receiver. At the end of the day, Denzel Mims is the sixth receiver on this team. And, hopefully he can prove it differently because, having that depth is everything. But I'll be quiet and I'll listen to you guys. I'd love to hear the feedback.
I definitely I see all your points, Ray.
Yeah, they're valid points, Ray. You're right about that. I'm just like, I don't want to, with respect, and let Ground and Punt talk after this. I just don't think it's the end of Zach's career if he has a bad performance tomorrow. But that's how it'll be portrayed.
I just want to see
let's
that
not
progression.
spend 20 minutes on it tomorrow if that happens. That's all I want to say.
Yeah. My thing is, Ray, the one thing you did point out, and then I'll go to Ground and Punt over here, but it's the reads. You're saying that he's always locked in, and we saw with the Corey Davis interception in the preseason. He locks in, and now he's starting to go through his reads more and hitting 1, 2, 3 reads. Maybe he's holding the ball too long, so he's waiting. He's not. Are they being coverage sacks that he's getting, or is he holding the ball too long, so he's not seeing it? So, going through the reads is one thing, but you got to hit your guys and get some yardage, man. We need him to get the ball down.
It's the latter, Justin. He's not seeing it right now. I'll agree to that.
Justin, how many deep balls has he thrown? It's been 3 games. The only deep ball he threw was in Pittsburgh.
I think LaFleur's setting that up. I think LaFleur's setting it up for the later part of the season. So he's opening
tomorrow. Play action bomb. Watch.
Has to be.
I hope so. I want to see more play action in those rollouts that we saw last year. It was so effective, and they haven't done it at all this year. Even Damian Woody said it. I'm sorry to keep butting in, but that's just a fact. Those flood plays, those flood concepts, they got completely away from them, and now we have a tight end, so we should be running them even more.
And Yeboah was activated too, and he's a pretty good route runner for a tight end too. So maybe he'll get more than just the one snap that he was brought in for last week on special teams. But who knows? I mean, maybe we're just going with the same exact recipe that we did with Green Bay, and Moore wasn't a huge contributor in that game anyway. So I think we should be all right. But Ground and Punt, go ahead, Ray. Thanks for the points, man. And we look forward to hearing you at the halftime with Tanad and Benny. So that's always a great time. So guys, if you're just chilling, waiting to do something at halftime tomorrow, just pick up your phone and come over to Jet Lounge. Ray, Tanad, and Benny will be doing something. So Ground and Punt, sorry, man. I think probably your shoulder's probably killing you, man. But go ahead, man.
No, it's all good. I actually had to sign off for, 20, 30 minutes. I had a meeting with a graphic artist for some work that I need done. And then I jumped back in. But then I kept having difficulties. I kept coming back in and out. But I understand like both sides of it very much, because it's one of those things where you just see a lot of these other quarterbacks making the leap, and you look at the investment of a second overall pick. And so if it's okay with you, and it's up to you, I would be curious to see. I really value the Jet Lounge family. Like, we have a lot of really good takes that are, come in here. And for me, one of the things that T-Rock said, because he's really probably the most patient person in the lounge when it comes to like, being patient with the coaches and the players and whatnot. And I think he said one of the things he said was something about if Zach, pretty much continues to look the same like by the end of the year, and then it would maybe be cause for concern. He didn't say cause for concern part, but I'm kind of just inferring that at this point, based upon like what he was saying, like, hey, you know what, I'm happy with what I'm seeing with Zach now. So guys, love to know, because with Sanchez, we didn't really bring in competition until like much later on. Well, like, what do we want to see by the end? And if we don't see what we want to see by the end of the year, do we sign a Daniel Jones next year to compete with Zach? Because I don't think this is a team that you draft another quarterback. Like there's just too much good stuff going on here. So
now here's my thing with that, Grandpa. I don't want to cut you up, but like the last 3 games, he's 3-0. All right, he wasn't asked to do much the last 2, but we won 40-17, and then came out 120-7-10. So who's not to say we don't know what he can do, because maybe he's just not being asked to do those things. So we're going to sit here and speculate if we're going to bring in a Daniel Jones. We should be speculating on if our guy can, secure the next win and show that he doesn't have to just give the ball to Brees for 200 yards. I don't even want to think about us bringing in competition because he's 3-0. I mean, I like the speculation. That's what we do here at the lounge, but I don't know. I think the culture here with the Jets sometimes is like we're just trying to pass our guys off because they're not, superstar caliber players. But you know what? He hasn't lost a game this year.
Hey Justin, just for grounding point, what I said is it'll be cause for concern if you see this week, year 3, next year. Okay, he's being developed now, whatever. I'm not even thinking about another quarterback.
Are you saying like by the end of next year?
No, next year. I'm talking about the end of this year. Obviously, he's learning. He's gonna have a lot more reps or whatever, and then I'm talking about next year because obviously, unless the Jets,
Big T, real quick. What I'm trying to ask you is, at what point of next year though? Because like our window with all of these players on these rookie deals, we gotta pounce on this shit, man. You know what I'm trying to say?
No. That's why if he progresses to the point where he's playing complementary football or even better by week 8 and deep in the season, because obviously he's gonna have more reps. Obviously they're gonna formulate different game plans. They're gonna know what he likes, what he doesn't like. That's obviously when the bye week comes. Okay, this is what you've been doing good. This is what I like. Let's take this out. Let's add this or whatever, because obviously he's gonna be getting more reps and he's gonna be learning. So obviously if the arrow's pointing up, then and the Jets keep pointing up and they make the playoffs or whatever, obviously then the arrow is going to be pointing for the Jets to have a bigger year and Zach to have a more responsibility next year. Okay, now if he digresses next year, then you start talking about quarterbacks. I'm not even uttering that word because it's blasphemy for me to even say talking about a quarterback now or next year. That is crap. You need to develop Zach this year. If the arrow's pointing up and it's pointing up at a real good where you see, okay, he's playing complementary football or he's winning some games on his own, then you're going with the arrow pointing up next year, and then from there you see is it going up? Is he getting Josh Allen type or whatever, or even better? Because he don't need to be Josh Allen. He don't need to be that or whatever. But is now, can we give him the ball where if they stop a running game and if our line is blocking, Zach could get it? That's week 3. This year now is he needs to play off the running game And that's exactly the type of offense that they run. It's predicated on the run, play action, and motion, and those are better reads for him because obviously when you go motion, obviously, you kind of can tell what the defense is doing, man, or whatever stuff like that. He got to learn these things or whatever. And I don't think he's a one-read quarterback because you know who's a one-read quarterback? Justin Fields. I saw him. It's not open, he runs. Zach doesn't do that. I know he may stay stuck on that, whatever. One-read quarterback. I know Joe Bugonis is probably going crazy when someone said that. I know Ray said that.
So then do you
Zach
try to
is not a
bring back?
one-read quarterback.
So then you,
no way.
So then you definitely bring back Flacco then.
Well, I get that. That's if Flacco wants to play or what. Obviously, he's 1 year older or whatever. But this all is predicated on his progression, on Zach's progression. Because I know if we sit in here and the Jets win 10 or 11 games and Zach had handed it or whatever, we're all going to be Google for Gaga to next year. Obviously, what they add and what Zach's going to be because of the fact that he's if the arrow's pointing up, then we're expecting more week 3. Am I right, guys?
Guys, I gotta step in here. I gotta step in for a minute, please. Listen, I understand that this was a topic, but dude, we're 4-2 going into Denver. I can't be talking about Joe Flacco and who our quarterback's going to be next year. I'm sorry. I never do this.
Thank you, Anthony.
I never
Thank
get
you.
involved. But let's tell me what you think the game plan for tomorrow's got to be. Tell me who you think can have an impact on the game tomorrow because I can't hear about Flacco next year. That's it for me. That's where I'm drawing. I'm sorry,
Let's
guys.
go to Randy.
What? I'm sorry.
Randy, go ahead.
Yeah, what's going on, guys? What's up? Listen,
man.
So I want to know. I'm really talking to Sack right now because I've been away. But when you guys got the news that Russell Wilson wasn't playing today, how did y'all feel? And I watched the tape. I went back to YouTube and saw how he beat us 2 years ago in the COVID game. And it basically was Melvin Gordon killing us, really. And I don't know what the relationship is with Melvin Gordon and the Broncos because I watched last game. I put money on him to get a touchdown, and they kicked him out after 3 carries. So I don't know what's going on over there. But I would like to know the temperature in Jets Nation. How do y'all feel about Russell not playing? And are y'all worried about this new dude, or are y'all confident in our defense? That's my question.
Well, I think he was talking to Sack. But you
I'm talking to the nation, the whole nation.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah.
I'm gonna just say what I said because we had a pop-up space today when it was announced he was out, and we also had one yesterday when it was like in the air that it was most likely that he wasn't playing. And obviously, if you told me who do you want to play, Rippon or Russell Wilson, I would say Rippon. But after what I seen, Jerry Jeudy and Melvin Gordon on the sideline, that team looked like it was in shambles after that game. So I almost say, like, be careful what we wish for. It's like that kid Skylar Thompson for the Dolphins. After Bridgewater got hurt, he didn't play a terrible game. If you tell me who do you think played a better game against us, him or Aaron Rodgers, I'd say him. He did. Rodgers looked horrible last week. So I'm almost like I'm.
Are you nervous, Ant?
Saying,
Are you nervous?
I don't know what to expect from this kid because you're not preparing for him. There's not a lot of film on him. Whereas you knew what you were getting when Russell Wilson coming in. This team looked like it was almost turning on him at a point. Now, granted, he could turn it on. The guy is pretty much a Hall of Fame quarterback. But, sometimes you just got to be careful what we wish for. I mean, either way, we got to win this game. That's just how I feel. I don't think they hurt this defense. I think the defense is playing out of its mind. But I ain't gonna lie. If I'm a little let's see what this kid could do against us.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Hey,
I'm with you, Ant.
Randy, I'm not nervous. I take the other side of Anthony. I'm not nervous with Brett Rippon or whatever the name is. I'm not nervous with this guy. If you can make freaking Aaron Rodgers look pedestrian, I'm not really worried about some guy named Rippon. I'll tell you that outright. And it doesn't matter. Listen, you have a much. I'd be a little bit more worried about the game if I had Russell Wilson back there. This guy, he is a third string, second string quarterback for a reason. So
is he a statue though, Zach? What? I don't have any tape on the dude. Well, except for the game we played him a couple years ago with Sam Darnold. But is he a statue?
Yeah,
I like statues. I
he's
don't
not
like dudes that's
compared to
mobile.
Russell Wilson. He is.
Okay, all right.
He's
Then
not mobile. And Justin, you mind if I talk real quick? Is that okay?
Well, hold on. So, Tony, my fault. Just cut you off. I want to give props to Ray. Ray, I agree with you. We need to win and get home. That's it. Just win and get home. We got to get back to Jersey, man. Let's get this win. I'll go back to listening. I love you guys. We don't need to fight. We all family ahead. So we
Nobody's
good.
even
I love
fighting.
y'all.
This is
No,
I appreciate you, man.
This is why Twitter is what it is.
Because I was feeling some type of way about you last week when I said something about Wilson and guys got at me. So I know how Jets Nation is, how they feel about Zach. And like they're, you know what I'm saying? I know how we feel.
Listen,
So
I'll tell you this: no fighting, but I'll fight with anyone that brings up Flacco in this team next year.
No, Randy, can you please stick around for what I'm about to say? Is that cool? Like, if you want, because all right. So anyway, my bad, Justin. I don't mean to step to the front of the line. Is that okay if I talk?
Well, too late. You already did it, but go ahead.
Yeah, you
All
already
right.
cut everybody. You're there.
Anthony,
Go ahead.
Anthony, shut your mouth. You're already having a bad enough night with the Astros. Why don't you calm down? Just have a beer and sit down.
All right, hold on, wait. You're talking about the Astros. You're asking me if you can cut the line. Hold on. Who was
Listen.
What?
Tony,
No,
you know I have the remove button, Tony.
All right. Everybody relax.
Go ahead, Tom.
Oh, no. And Anthony, you can laugh at me because I lost a 14-way parlay tonight. A 14-way parlay for $11,000 because the Charlotte 49ers are absolute frauds. And they were a 14-point favorite and got embarrassed. And they cost me $11,000.
I don't want to laugh at that. That's
no, you have to laugh at me because I'm a fraud. I'm a joke. The Charlotte 49ers. What the hell are you doing? You were 14-point favorites, you stupid ass frauds. I hope you all fail and get like drafted in the military. I hate all of you.
Yo, Tony, relax.
Nah, I'm heated, bro. But hey,
I
Graf,
don't even
you're
know
still
who
here.
the Charlotte 49ers sports is. Who do they play for?
It's a Division I football team, Rock.
Wasn't that the place where our offensive lineman that got hurt came from?
Yeah. I know you're talking about Terrence. Yes, that was. But real quick, I just want to jump into this thing with that Ground brought up, and I just want to bring up this, and you can cite the witnesses because I'll bring them out too. Frankie was there, Double O, a few of the other degenerates. They were on late night, and my son, he's been sick, and so I got up with him late at night, and I clued into Double O's thing, and Braylon Edwards was there. So I just jumped on and I said, "Hey, Braylon, let me ask you a simple question. I know you got all the success with Sanchez. I know you had all the success. You had all the good times and, you won all the games. Who's better? Who would you rather play with, Zach or Sanchez?" He literally said on the podcast, and you could have Double O in here and whoever else to back me up. He said he literally talked to Jericho, and they both said Zach Wilson by a long shot. They would play with Zach Wilson today if they were still able to.
Really?
And it's nothing against Sanchez. They loved Sanchez because he was such a cool guy. He kept the locker room loose, and he was a cool guy, and he did what he had to do. But Braylon said something interesting. He's like, if you're giving a quarterback a play sheet on his wristband, run as a traffic light, red, green, and yellow with plays, how to run them. Remember that? How he had like the plays where it's one off and then two looks, and he's allowed to have one look on this play or two looks on this play. Remember that?
Yep.
He's like, literally, you don't need to do that with Zach because Zach is faster. Zach is more mobile. Zach is 10 times the athlete Sanchez is, and Zach's arm dwarfs Mark's by a billion. That's pretty much what he said. He said if he could suit up right now, he'd play with Zach tomorrow.
Tony, let me ask you this question though, devil's advocate.
Yeah.
If Rex Ryan was the head coach of this team, and it's not Saleh, and it's Rex Ryan, and you think that they wouldn't be doing the same thing with Zach, red light, green light, and all that stuff?
We brought that up, and Braylon threw all the heat on Shoddy about that.
Well, okay, so Shoddy's the offensive coordinator, and Rex Ryan's the head coach, and he's got Zach Wilson, a rookie guy. You don't think they're doing the same thing with him?
Zach, Rex knew nothing about offensive football. That's why he brought Shoddy in. That's why he brought his dad in.
So say Schottenheimer. All right, here we go again. So say Schottenheimer is the offensive coordinator, and Michael LaFleur isn't. Whoever was responsible for that red light, green light, and all that stuff back then, if they were the head coach of this team or the offensive coordinator of this team with a rookie quarterback as Zach Wilson, they would do the same thing with him. They would. That's the way they treated rookie quarterbacks, and they would do the same thing with our guys.
But I'm just saying, on the other side of that, Zach, you have to admit Zach Wilson, athletically and his arm, he's better than Sanchez.
1,000%. I don't disagree. 1,000%.
Yeah.
But until Zach Wilson gets us to an AFC Championship game, see, that's the thing that I don't like. What happens on Twitter? Mark Sanchez brings you to 2 AFC Championship games, and then people will crap on Sanchez by saying, I have love for the ex-players. But here's my point. The guy brings us to AFC Championship, but the people on here will say, no, he didn't bring us there. It was the defense, great running game, and they come up special teams. They come up with all these different excuses.
They're doing Zach. Can I bring that?
I want to jump in here about that point.
That team is not the same team. We're playing with a young squad.
This is the same team. This is almost like the same team.
No, it's not. The AFC Championship teams were all vets.
Let me jump in on Zach's point.
Hold on. I'm not saying that, Tony. I'm saying this team is based on great defense, good running game, say great, good running game, and good special teams. That's what this team's about, and that's what 2009 was about. Forget about veterans and whatnot. We're winning the same way you were winning back then, is all I'm saying. They're very – Bob Scott said it today. He goes, I'm seeing my reflection in the mirror. It's almost identical to that other team. Besides, they have veterans and this team is more younger, but it's the same type of team.
Yeah, I agree.
I think that's how they handle rookie quarterbacks. I think that's what they would do to Zach. But yes, is Zach more talented than Sanchez? 1,000%.
Yeah.
But we can't say that Sanchez didn't bring us to the AFC.
No, I'm not taking anything away from Mark, and that's what everybody's missing. I didn't present it the correct way. I'm not taking anything away from Mark. Mark Sanchez made my wife a Jets fan. Just FYI, when he got drafted, my wife's like, "Who is that?" And I'm like, "The new quarterback of the Jets." And she used to be a Giants fan until we drafted him. And so I believe that she really appreciated his talent at USC and really did the scouting and the tape.
It was his arm strength.
Yeah, the arm strength. Yeah, definitely the strength.
He had a good throw day.
Yeah, the strength in the pocket.
Zach Wilson's making a lot of our nieces and nieces and younger, like he's doing the same thing right now.
Oh, I get it, Zach. Don't worry. My mother-in-law definitely is a huge Jets fan all of a sudden. I'm like, all right, take it easy.
No, I'm saying nieces, like the younger crew.
Oh, I know.
He's
Zach
doing
Wilson's equal opportunity, apparently.
Yeah.
So I'm going to jump in off of Zach's point about if Schottenheimer had Zach Wilson, would they do the same thing? And if we look back into history, I clearly remember they handed Mark Sanchez the playbook, and he was having trouble absorbing the entire playbook. And he was throwing lots of inadvertent passes. He was throwing bad passes, interceptions. So then what they did said, all right, this is too much for you, kid. We're going to give you the red light, yellow light, green light. And to our knowledge, if we know anything about Zach Wilson, we know that he is a film junkie. We know that he spends his Thanksgiving dinners sitting at the table with his family, watching film and going through the playbook. And there's one thing that we really haven't seen outside of that Patriots game is him throwing inadvertent bad passes and not understanding his reads. Sure, he needs to clean up a lot. Sure, he could move a little bit faster and connect his eyes and his feet in the pocket, but we have seen that improve this year. And I don't know, because hey, revisionist history, hindsight's 20/20, but I don't want to believe that if we had Zach Wilson in that offense with Schottenheimer, that they would have had the need to give him the red light, green light. And I'm not here to say that Zach Wilson's our franchise quarterback either. But what I do have to say is I think he's a little bit more talented physically and mentally than Sanchez was.
Paul, that's directly Braylon's point that he brought up. And that's everybody's point. Nobody's kind of paying attention to it.
Hey,
Mark Sanchez went to USC.
Wait a minute.
Mark Sanchez had
Tony, I apologize.
5-star receivers.
Tony, I
T,
start.
let him talk. T, hold on.
No. But to say, wait. Then
What? No, Mark Sanchez, and Paul, you made an excellent point. Mark Sanchez went to USC. Mark Sanchez had 5-star receivers. Mark Sanchez had 5-star offensive linemen, 5-star running backs. People don't want to look at this. He was at the post Reggie Bush era at USC that was recruiting all these superstars on the backs of like Reggie and Carson Palmer and all those championships and the peak. And guess what? Pete Carroll was coaching. And like, they had all these recruits, they had all these studs. And like Pete Carroll literally told Sanchez he wasn't ready for the NFL. And Braylon brought that up. And then another thing to realize, guess what? Zach Wilson's number one wide receiver threat is the dude who stole his girlfriend, who's on like the Washington Commanders practice squad. His name's Dax Milne.
6th round pick.
That was his number one threat as a wide receiver.
Actually,
so the fact that you're even what?
It was Romney, not really Dax Mims. I mean, they were both
Dax Milne.
Yeah, well, Romney got most of those guys. Romney's another one.
Romney, and then yes, I'll give you Tyler Algier, but like that's it. That's who he had. He didn't have all these superstars that he was playing with the USC, all these 5-star recruits. What 5-star recruit wants to play at BYU anyway? Like, I mean, it is what it is. Zach did more with less, and like that's why his profile was so big. And I know we're not really going over who's better because we kind of ended that, but like in the end, Zach Wilson, I think, kind of proves that he can do this job and he doesn't need this red light, green light bullshit. He can process. Like
Tony, 1,000%. And I agree with you. He's 1,000% more talented, I would say. But who are we all to say, right? We're not professional scouts. We don't know. But what I'm saying is, for Mark Sanchez, I always, you see me tweeting out love for the ex players. I love for what they did. And for me is, we can't have it both ways. When Mark Sanchez goes to 2 AFC championships game, everybody says, and you've seen it before. We know who they are. We know. They say, oh, he didn't take us. The defense, the special, they come up with any other reason why we went to 2 AFC championships. But with Zach, because if people like Zach say better than Mark or whatever the case is, they'll just say, oh, we won 3 in a row. See, Zach is 3-0, undefeated. Although not pointing out that the defense, special teams, and all that helped them get there. But we can't have it both ways. If Mark didn't take us to the AFC championships and Zach didn't win us these last 3 games, that's just a fact of it. You can't have it both ways. Everybody craps on, because we got Connie here. I'm not gonna curse, but it's like we can't have it that way. It's like, everybody craps on Mark Sanchez, and I feel bad for Mark Sanchez because of all the stuff that he helped us accomplish and get to, which we haven't even sniffed in so many years. All he's known for is the butt fumble. I mean, think of a man's career, the whole career. It's like, and Tony, you were around back then, like Bill Buckner. All that guy had a whole career, really good player. All he's known for is Mookie Wilson, the ball going between his legs. This affects people. I think Mark Sanchez gets less credit than he deserves. I think that he should, listen, until anybody gets us to 2 AFC championship games, including our head coach, including everybody else, then it's all for naught, because those 2 guys got us there. Mark Sanchez deserves some credit for getting us there.
And
I agree. It's Zach.
I think the reason why we look at quarterbacks like this.
Zach, remember when you did that Christian McCaffrey trade idea?
Yeah.
Look at the haul that they got for him. Just FYI, it's hilarious.
It's amazing.
All right, guys, let's go over to Chris Mazza, and then we'll go to Mike. Go ahead, Chris.
Yeah, thank you guys for holding the space. I got 2 things to say before I talk about tomorrow. The first of which is I'm 21, so the last time the Jets were good, I was in 3rd grade. It's been a really, really, really tough time growing up. So the fact that little Johnny's finally eating ice cream makes me happy every day.
Great.
The second thing is I feel like as fans, sometimes we disagree, and that's cool. But I feel like Twitter sort of like dramatizes it. I feel like Twitter makes everything polar, where you're either on this side of the fence, you're on that side of the fence. And I feel like us as Jet fans, like we should just be tearing down that fence and, having these conversations in a way that we're not bringing people up personally.
Nobody is. We don't do that.
I know. And we're doing, well, like tonight was good. but like I've seen other shit on Twitter or stuff on Twitter. I'm sorry, where people do get a little personal, and the fact that we provide that space like this where we don't have to be like that is just good. So that's good stuff. My question about tomorrow is obviously we have probably the best cornerback duo in the league right now. Regardless, it's not arguable. It's definitely top 3. Denver has their own lockdown corner in Pat Surtain. Who do you think he sees more of tomorrow? Do you think it's more Garrett Wilson, or do you think it's more Corey Davis?
I think he's going to be seeing more of Garrett, but
I think no.
Zach does like Corey a lot too, though. So I don't know.
Hey, can I jump in here real quick?
That's a good question.
I think the Denver Broncos they're not gonna shadow any of your receivers, but definitely I think if they do, Surtain will be on Corey Davis.
Yeah, and I think just like looking at that Mike Williams matchup, like if you look at the builds, I'm not saying Corey Davis is built like Mike Williams, but he's more built like Mike Williams than Garrett Wilson is. So Pat Surtain's skill set might be better equipped for a guy like Corey Davis over a guy like Garrett Wilson, who might beat him on the inside a few times on those quick slant routes and those drag routes.
I think that Surtain, I've seen an interview with Garrett Wilson. I think Surtain will be covering Garrett Wilson. Garrett Wilson was talking about, even last week's, their best corner was on Garrett Wilson. They respect Garrett Wilson. They lock him up. I mean, I seen the interview today. He expects it until they had their battles in college between Alabama and Ohio State. So at least I know Garrett Wilson's expecting for Surtain to cover him.
Garrett Wilson's 7 to 10 times more dynamic than Corey Davis.
Of course he is, but I'm just saying. I'm just looking at it from a schematic. Like I said, this is your team, but I'm just looking at it from a smart point of view. They're going to go at the veteran wide receiver over the first-year guy just because they can do a lot more different things to confuse him on their defense. And they know they can't confuse Corey Davis because he's a vet. He's been in the league for like 6-7 years, I think. I'm not sure. But I just think they're going to put Surtain on Corey Davis on third downs specifically because they know your guy, Zach, loves Corey Davis on third downs. He's trusted him.
You don't put a guy like Jair Alexander put Garrett Wilson in his back pocket for the Packers game. He did. He shut him down. And I think if you shut him down, that I feel like that strategy is going to get duplicated because Garrett Wilson is 10 times more dynamic than Corey Davis is.
Of course.
Deep route.
I hope Dean they do exactly what you said they do.
I hope they do, Dean.
No,
I hope
no.
they do.
I'm
Hey,
just
all the
saying
attention to Corey Davis. Yeah, I don't care.
I'm saying no. They're not gonna single cover Garrett Wilson. What I'm saying is I think they're gonna do a lot of things to like take him out the game, but I think Surtain is gonna be on Zach Wilson, number one receiver on third downs. I think Zach trusts Corey more on third downs whenever it's like 3rd and 7, 3rd and 6, whatever. Then Garrett Wilson is the best receiver on your team. We know that. We all know that. But I just think for tomorrow, I think your boy Surtain, Surtain is going to be more mostly on Corey. I mean, if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But
Well, then you got Berrios and our tight ends to worry about. So Surtain can only cover one guy. But I think he has to go where Jair Alexander went. You see who they're going to respect is your one. Well, looking at that formula, I'm going to say it's going to be Garrett most of the time. But I think that's a good point you make. He is comfortable with Corey. He does have a good relationship with Braxton too. So maybe he looks at covering him on third. It could be all changed at halftime. You know what I mean? It's a good point.
And guys, if you guys are listening real quick, and then Justin and Anthony can attest to us, even some of the OGs here, Connie, Rusty, Terrence, Big T-Rock for sure, Chris, we don't allow any of that. I know someone brought it up before, the young guy. We don't allow any of the abusive stuff in this space. It's what separates our space from other spaces. We control what we can control here. We don't allow every once someone will do an F-bomb out of the blue. You can't really press pause. It's not taped, so it's live, but we don't allow any of that. We let everybody speak. And a lot of these little debates I'm having with Anthony or Justin, they're all in fun. They're all in love. We have these debates in our own group chat, and it goes back and forth. So we don't allow that. And this is why you see Miss Connie here. She knows that we don't allow, and people will get booted real quick if they try to do any direct insults or threats. We just don't allow that to happen. That's all.
Hey, I appreciate that, man. I that's what I was, I don't. It's my first or second time or third time on this space right here. That's what I prefer. Even if I'm from another team and I'm coming with my opinions, for people to just be using profanity, calling me all type of names, that's like
No.
so insulting, bro. Like,
Dean, we don't do that. We allow the other fans. We've done it since the first show we ever had. We actually had a Patriot fan, if a lot of the OGs
Viking.
remember. The what?
He was a
When-
Viking fan too.
We-
Remember?
listen, Dean, I used to have a spot with Benny. He's our Monday morning show, and we did a segment where we went through the whole during the off season. We were making content, and we went team by team through the schedule and pretty much predicted the game. And each week we invited people from Twitter to come into the space to represent their team to say, hey, you guys aren't going to beat us this week, and why. So we thrive on wanting to have other teams in here because we're talking football at the end of things. So, and we try to be
Appreciate that.
respectful because we want you to come back.
Thank you, man. Thank you. I appreciate that, man. For
We had
real.
a Patriot fan, first show we ever did. Anthony remembers. We had a Patriot fan came in trolling, and instead people wanted to boot him, and I actually wanted to reach him and see, okay, listen, why are you saying what you're saying? By the end of that, we gained the fan. So we do like the other fans that come in here, try to keep it respectful because we love the Jet fans. Make no mistake about it, but we do respect the other teams' fans.
Right. And like I said, I'm a Dolphin for life for 34 years now, but I like to hear what the other AFC East teams are talking about. You know what I mean? Like I go on Buffalo Spaces sometimes too, just to and just to hear the insight and just to hear and just to, it's football, bro. It's like I love football.
Hey, it's like a snowball fight, pillow fight. You want to hit you pretty good and make stick up for our team, make fun of yours, and
Right.
but not we're not nothing. There's nothing personal in here. So
Yeah, and
we appreciate it, man.
I wasn't trying to call anybody out. I was just trying to commend everybody because I know, like when it gets like into those heated discussions like that, sometimes people do go personal, and nobody did. So I wasn't trying to say that was happening, but I just wanted.
Hey,
to,
listen, we're
you
gonna
know what I'm
sound
saying?
corny, man, but it's ain't our first rodeo. Let's
Yeah.
Because my like on some football stuff, like I was saying last week, and I think I'm not sure what space it was, but I was in the Jet space, and I said, listen, guys, your defense is, and this is just me saying this. I'm not saying this because just to say it. I watched football for a very long time. I said from day one when I watched you guys in not week 1, but week 2, and I watched you guys closely. I said, hey, the Jets are a much improved team, and everybody said, oh, they're the same old Jets. I said, no, they're not. I said, if you watch them closely, they're fighting. They're fighting all 60 minutes. They're not giving up. And after the game, guys are mad that they lost. So that's a different attitude. And I knew going into the Dolphin game, I said if we didn't bring our lunch, we were going to lose. And we didn't bring our lunch, and we lost. And it wasn't. Yeah, we had a Skylar Thompson or whatever. It doesn't matter. You guys, I told the Dolphin space the other day, the Jets whooped us in the trenches. Their defensive line was much more physical than our offensive line, and their offensive line was much more physical. Our defensive line, you can see it by how in the second half the running game took over, and we couldn't stop it. So my thing is to give props when props are due, and that's it.
I appreciate that. So I'm going to do the same and give you the props. For being another team fan coming here and talk it. It's always a good time, and we like that because it's competition. If you're an athlete and you like sports, that's all competition.
Absolutely.
So, but so thanks for coming in.
Yeah.
But I'm going to get over to Michael Elias, and we're going to probably stop the show tonight soon. So let's get some good takes in, and we're going to look forward to tomorrow's game. So go ahead, Mike.
Hey guys, how are you? So I wanted to bring it back kind of to that Zach Wilson conversation. I see both sides between both Joe and Zach's side, but the thing is, he's only in his second year, and I think he just played his 17th game right against the Packers, and at the end of the day,
it'll be this game coming for his 17th.
Okay, so he didn't even play a full season yet, but at the end of the day, he doesn't need to throw 50 times because we're in the lead, and it's not that he's bad that they're not allowing him to throw, that they don't trust him, but it's that we're in the lead and we're running the ball well and we don't need to. When we needed him to throw against Pittsburgh in the 2 drives, he did exactly what we wanted him to do. And it's not like Josh Allen was lighting up the league his second year. I looked at his stats. I mean, the guy was pulled out against the Patriots because he threw 3 picks and basically did nothing his second year. So I just want to plead patience with Zach a little bit because I expect good things from him coming up. It's just the teams we're playing and the defenses we're playing. The Packers had a good pass defense. We're not gonna throw on them if we're in the lead and we're running well. It doesn't make sense. I don't even do that in Madden. Why would we do that in real life? So, and if I want to come back to what our game plan against the Broncos, I agree with that. I think we're going to come out with play action in the first couple plays to keep them on their heels because they're gonna stack that box, and we have to make them respect the deep ball, and they have to spread it out a little in order to open up the run game. That's the best way to do. Let the pass game open up the run game in this one.
Wow, great take.
Yeah, Mike, that was good, man. Yeah, they definitely have to be respected with the run game. I think that's where LaFleur is laying the blueprint around the league, that they have that, and they have to, they're trying to, be able to come out the first drive and not have to establish who they are every damn game in the first quarter. They have a little bit of an identity now, and that's big. You're looking at on paper, the Broncos are 2-4, but you look at them on paper too. They're banged up, man. A lot of their team, is on injured reserve that they were relying on being a big piece of this team this year. Well, Russ is out, but Javonte Williams, Tim Patrick, Garrett Bowles, Randy Gregory, Ronald Darby. They got a lot of guys out that they were expecting to be a big part of this team. So I think they're just trying to stay afloat and not be, their defense is keeping them in the games, but I think that when you have a team that has so many different ways and different weapons like the Jets have, I think that we control the clock and we run the ball. And, like Mike, you were just saying, get them to respect the deep ball so we can spread the field. Maybe hopefully they come out respecting the run right away and we can already have that established. But I think you're right, though, Mike.
And their passing game. I mean, their offense is terrible. They average like 16 points a game this year so far. They're terrible on offense. That's why I picked you guys. I picked you guys on my bookie sheet to win for sure. I just can't see how they're going to score enough points because their offense is bad. It's really, really, really bad. So yeah.
Yeah, that's 16 points a game with Russell Wilson, not Brett Rippon. And Javonte Williams was part of that offense until October 2nd. So the first month of that stat sheet you're looking at. So yeah, they're banged up and they're not good, man. I think that I want to overlook them. It's an NFL team and it's any given Sunday, but I think that we have a good chance in beating this team just with our defense, like they've been doing all year with their defense. But I think we control the clock, ground and pound, and they respect the run. And they start, stacking the box and let Zach show us what he's really got with using his arm. And if they're getting to him, roll out of the pocket, use the legs. Yeah, don't take the hits, get hurt, but you got to extend the play. And guys like Berrios, guys like Wilson, they'll find a way to extend the play and get open downfield. So,
hey Justin, I just add on to that, and another place that we have to win this game. This is a solid game to win. This guy Hackett is just bad. He's bad. I mean, he's really bad. So this is a game where Saleh had, I remember old games, Belichick, he's messing with coaches, he's doing the little things. This is a game where I think Saleh has to have some sort of impact on. I mean, obviously, the team has to play. He doesn't play the game, but he's got to bring his game too, because this guy, I mean, everything. If you go to a Denver space, they want him gone already. Like
he's terrible.
So this is a time for Saleh to shine this game too.
Yeah, and to that thing, tomorrow, the defense has been playing lights out. Have to continue that trend and put us in good positions. It's going to be an ugly game. I can see it being, obviously a very low scoring game, but you might, catch some pick sixes off the kid. Maybe Sauce takes one back to the house or Reed.
Now, excuse me. Sorry, I'm losing my voice a little bit. Now, there's one thing that I know. I played sports my entire youth. That the team that's better conditioned and can last longer and have better endurance usually holds up in the end. And the Jets are damn well showing that in the fourth quarter. They're that team this year. So now you're going up to a place like Mile High, where the atmosphere is thinner. The oxygen level, you see them on the sidelines with the oxygen mask. We aren't the other teams in the NFL. We have a rotation on our defensive line that's not going to be tired like the other teams are not used to. So maybe their home field advantage isn't really there because we have guys that are conditioned to, rotate. Shit, Q, maybe you are out of breath right now, but all right, bring in Solomon Thomas and rotate him. Let's get this line going, So, I think that's something you got to equate for. We always equate for weather when we're talking about Chicago or New England. Hey, that's another element in Denver that we should talk about too, that we have the guys that are conditioned with rotating that defensive line too. So I think that maybe we can just be physical, play these guys to the game that we're used to, get to the quarterback the way we're used to getting to the quarterback, and run the ball the way we're used to running the ball, make them respect the run, and let Zach show them the arm. He's from that area, man. He's from the mountains.
Yeah,
Man. It'll be a
that's
BYU
true.
home game.
He should be comfortable. I never thought about that. That's quite a take. He is calm. He's from that area, the same
From
location.
Utah. So, mountain zone time. It's not a driveway, but hey, these guys, they'll make the trip out.
Listen, you guys are gonna listen. Once the first half ended, well, it's gonna end, and Judy and all these guys are like, "Yo, Mark Ripton kid is trash." They're gonna quit, right? And their running game is poor right now with Melvin Gordon. He has like 5 fumbles this year. Their offensive line is just not blocking very good. If you look last week versus the Chargers, they had 5 or 6 sacks. They're gonna quit, bro. Like this to me is gonna be your easiest game that you had in the last 2 weeks. Even though the Dolphins game you won by 23, it was still a good game till the early part of the fourth quarter. And as far as with the Packers last week, just winning in Lambeau Field is very difficult anyway. But I think tomorrow is going to be your easiest game out of your winning streak to me. And I'm just looking at it totally just on the outside looking in.
Well, you know what, man? That's one way. Some people say I don't think there's any such thing as easy games, but if you're going to say the easiest, maybe with the backups, we've seen a lot of this year. So there's always excuses for a lot of people are going to have that. We play the backups and easier is easier, but they are playing at home. It's a professional team, and who knows? It's already if it's Sunday, but I have us winning this one now. I didn't before the season, but I think that with all their injuries and us on a roll, that we're gonna roll through and we're gonna I don't know, go into Broncos country and
I'm going
ride.
to say it again. They score first, set the tone, predict the pace of the game, wear them down, and then when it's time to kick them in the teeth and bury them, that's what they do. That's what they did in Miami. That's what they did in Green Bay. I don't know if anyone remembers. I said, once I see Rodgers start yelling, that's when I know we have him before that game. And that's exactly what we've seen. And that's when they put their foot on the gas pedal and they buried him.
Well, I want to see. Who's our second string tomorrow? Who's suited up? Mike White or Joe Flacco? I see him get some garbage time minutes to Denzel Mims and maybe a little extra touchdown. But no, I think that we're gonna have a good game, man. I think Quinnen Williams is gonna be.
Oh my God!
Same way that he's gonna play the same way he's been playing, man. They could double team if they want. He's gonna get to the quarterback.
Hey, real quick, man, I'm gonna leave, but listen, I want to say this: Quinnen Williams. I seen a highlight last week where he just absolutely threw the guard or the center. Like, I mean, bro, he's playing. I mean, I know he's been a good player in his league. He's been a fantastic player. But this year, he just looks much like much better. He just looked. I mean, he's playing on another level this year. I mean,
He's playing to the pick that we picked him at. He
Yeah.
was a good player. He was an above average player.
right.
This year,
Anthony, you remember when we went to the premiere for Flight 22? There was
Yes.
a part on Flight 22 where Q was caught on camera. I don't know if it was the premiere we went to, but it was one of the episodes, and he was on there they were talking at practice, and he was quoted to say he wants to be better than Aaron Donald. He wants to be the best. So I think he really has that drive. It's not about his contract. He's not. He wants to be the best at his position,
He's
hands
kicking
down.
ass. He
just wants to be best, and
he's a-
you can't. You can't coach
But
that.
who's playing better right now in the NFL as far as D tackle? I don't think nobody. I think he's the best. He's playing at the. I mean, of course, Aaron Donald was the best in the league, but right now, Quentin is playing the best D tackle position. He's playing at the highest level as far as that position right now. If we're going to be honest,
Yeah, I
he's
mean, you got to
playing-
look
he's-
at
yeah.
literally unstoppable right now. I mean, it's just
Right.
it's
I'm
you know,
telling you.
it's I don't know if you guys tell me. Sometimes you just see the year happen. It's like, okay, this is the step, and it's almost like the Zach Wilson case. It's like this is what you want to see. You want to see, like we've always said, oh, what do we do with Quinnen Williams? Did he leave? Do you sign him to that extension? I mean, this was what we expected from him. And my God, you've seen glimpses of it, and you're like, God, if this
Shit.
kid could just put it together, the season he could have would be, who knows? And honestly, I feel that it's clicking. Something clicked for this kid. I don't know if it's maybe that you put people around him. That could be it also. He was the only guy for a long time.
We
Now
have
you
an
have
edge rush,
guys around
Anthony.
him.
Anthony, we have an edge rush.
That's
Yep,
what I'm.
That's
That's what I
exactly
mean.
what it is, man. Lawson's out there, JJ.
You can't
Clemens.
double Q anymore. You can't do it.
Exactly.
And
But he just put it together, and I mean, he's been our best player. It's really
To add to your point, Anthony, there was one thing that we talked about when we were talking about offensive line. The same thing is going to go for defensive line. We say how these guys thrive with the guys that they play next to them. We're just talking about that now with Quinnen and having an edge and all that stuff. But Quinnen's playing so well, and look what's happening to John Franklin Myers. He's playing so well because Quinnen's playing so well because he's got an edge. So it's the whole domino effect on that. And we said the same thing happened with the offensive line. What happened to Elijah Vera Tucker when he was playing next to Greg Van Rotten or Alex Smith? And these guys didn't play well. They were loud. They were loud. Not Alex, Elijah Vera Tucker. I'm talking about the center, McGovern. He wasn't looking good. Now he looks great. Now he looks great.
He looks okay.
He doesn't look like he did. He doesn't look like he did against when he had Alex Smith to his left and Rotten to his right.
I know you're right though, Just. I'm just busting chops.
Give it up to the old man as well. Let's not forget Dwayne Brown.
Yeah, well, I'm just saying the guy next to you can
dude.
really dictate how well you're playing too on offense and defensive line. I think that's what again with Quinnen is having that edge. That therefore it's translating to JFM Eaton over there too.
Oh yeah, thanks,
Justin. You were digging in correctly. Digging on Anthony in the offensive line guru. He thinks he is the best player on this team is AVT, and it ain't close. Come on, Anthony.
Listen, I don't know, man. He's having a phenomenal. I mean, I think he's the most important person to this team. I don't know if he's having a better year than Quinnen. Quinnen Williams, he disrupted that entire Packer game.
Oh my God.
He literally destroyed that entire pack. Like he was unstoppable.
Quinnen Williams is the best defensive tackle in football right now.
Yep. And Tony, listen, I don't. I would say you said enough tonight, Tony.
I would say this. I think that game that he yelled at his defensive coordinator and said, "Stop blitzing. Let us win the game. Let us do our thing." I think that's when the defense started taking it up to another level because now the D coordinator was trusting the guys. You know what I mean? Because I don't know what game that was when he was yelling at the defensive coordinator on the sideline. What game was
I think that was the Bengals game when we blitzed and he wanted to blitz, but who knows if it was the rotation that he wasn't happy with. We really don't know. That's all speculation what they're really arguing about, bro.
Right.
But if we look at what when we went through the schedule, 90% of us said when it was come to the Packer game, we were doing L and W's, right?
Mm-hmm.
That was an L. Everybody in unison. L. The other one with the Broncos. L. I mean, you think about all these L's that we were giving them now, and then now we start to see that these games are not L's. Even if Russell Wilson was there, I don't feel any other different that we beat the Broncos. And Green Bay, I mean, look, everybody has problems. They have problems. We have problems. It's a good thing. We should all be happy with ourselves, and and just look forward to tomorrow, and come back to MetLife. And again, any of you guys in here that for the Patriot game, we will have the Jet Lounge tailgate, and we would love to see you and come out, because we got a lot of good things happening at the tailgate, and
Big
we
game,
all
big
want to see
game.
you and celebrate. So
Sounds great. I'll get Anthony his Aaron Judge jersey. Maybe you could buy tickets for the next Yankee game so we could wave to him from that Little League right field porch. You clown.
I already got Anthony a jersey, but it's not Aaron.
And his mic gets muted. I like this button when Tony's talking. I like this one.
Hey, yo, Tony.
He's muted. Anthony blocked. Anthony made him muted.
Oh, that's fucked up.
Nah, he can unmute. I just muted him while he's talking.
You keep muting him though.
Hey, yo,
Anthony knows I love
yo, Tony, by the way, all I do, and the guys can, I don't know, because I guess you don't be popping in all the time, but all I do is talk about Zach Wilson's mental makeup. You said nobody talks about that. That's all I do is talk about his mental makeup.
Oh no, Rock. It wasn't you. It's just it was that you and Graham were talking about Zach. I didn't say anything. I wasn't pointing at anything you said.
No, I'm talking about, you said you was giving Zach his credit on his mental makeup, on like he don't need you know what I'm saying, he has it all in his head and the way he's run stuff. I said that's all I do is talk about Zach's mental makeup. You said no one points that out. I said that's all I do is talk about his mental makeup.
Oh no, Rock, you do, and I'm not saying I was alone on that. I'm not trying to act like I'm a landmark person. I was just quoting Braylon. And I think you were in that spot for like a minute, if I'm not mistaken, when Braylon was on there late night with Double O. But like,
yeah, I did. I was in there. And
yeah. Braylon, by the way, is cool as hell. And he, like, from calling out Brandon Marshall, calling Brandon Marshall a fake Jet, like that was hilarious. But just hearing that from him, and hearing that him and a guy like Jericho, who is revered by this fan base from all the stuff that he did. Like, just from hearing these guys say that about Zach, and they didn't even play with the dude, and they were like, "We'll suit up tomorrow." Like, it's just hopeful, man. It's just hopeful. Like, it just gives you promise. Like,
that's good to hear, Tony. We want guys to say, "Oh, no, our guy was much better. This guy sucks." You're not gonna have faith in him. If you hear Braylon Edwards or Crosby saying, "Oh yeah, this guy's shit, man, I wish I could play with him," yeah, you're gonna get all like high on your guy, like hell yeah, I'm sure Sanchez heard him say that too. He was like, "Oh yeah, I'd love to play with Zach."
No,
Wilson.
but it was cool though, Justin, because Braylon didn't mean to diss Mark. He's just like, "Listen, bro, I know I'm not. He's like, I know I'm not Randy Moss." Like,
he wants to play with him. He's a talent, and he's a super athlete. You want to play with somebody who looks like fucking guy throws the balls 60 yards across his body, the opposite fucking side of the field. All right, yeah, let's roll. Throw me the ball. Let's see what I can do with it.
Yeah, Braylon. See, that's the difference. We're starting to get a lot of those guys. You think guys don't want to play with Sauce? Quinnen keeps us up. Guys aren't going to play with him on offense. You got Garrett Wilson, Breece Hall. These guys bring people. It's finally a team where it's like, wow, that's a draw. Like,
bro, you don't think anybody's going to want to come play with ABT? I can play every position on the line.
Yep.
Terrence, you got your hand up, buddy. Go ahead. We're going to end the show at 11. So go ahead, Terrence. Sorry,
all
man,
right,
for
thanks,
making you wait so long.
That's all right, man.
What's up,
Good
T?
conversation here. Hey, first, a joke. There was some young guy on here about 20 minutes ago who said he's 23, and the last time the Jets were good, he was in third grade. Well, I feel the same way, except that was 40 years ago for me.
That was good.
Secondly, let's not forget last year when people mentioned Zach Wilson, because I remember last year his family made the trek to Mile High or whatever to Denver to watch him play, because it's not that far from Utah, and they handed us our ass 23-0. So I'm hoping that Robert Salah has those receipts ready for that. I hope he has the team motivated, especially the second-year players who were there, saying, "Hey, remember what they did to us last year." To Anthony's point earlier, I would have actually preferred to see Russell Wilson in there than Rippon, because it does seem to, I mean, it's the devil you know compared to the devil you don't. I mean, I'm not really phased by it, but it just seemed like something was going on. And I said this, may not have mentioned it too much on the Jet Lounge. I think I did once, and Paul Riley may have, didn't rip my, didn't cut my throat open about it, but he kind of disagreed. But I kind of felt Seattle did get the better end of that deal with the 2 first-round draft picks, because I did feel the last year and a half Russell Wilson wasn't the same player that he was, when he led Seattle to 2 Super Bowls. And I think a lot of it has to do with that escapability that he had earlier in his career is no longer there. And he has to be more of a pocket passer. And he may not be able to do that as well, but still, I don't know this guy Rippon. I also know that I think Denver's going to be motivated at first, because I think they are a better team than 2 and 4. Maybe it's the coaching. So I think they're going to come out like, hey, let's change this narrative. But this is where the Jets have to be better than the same old Jets. And basically, if they got to take a hit on the chin, fight back, and let's win this game. And I think we're more than capable of doing it. And let's just as fans, let's just keep these W's rolling, so that way we forget what it's like to talk about this team after a loss. I mean, believe me, we're not going to be 15-2, but let's not make tomorrow. Let's just hope this team doesn't make tomorrow. The day that that they pile up another L, and let's get this win. Like I said, yeah, Elijah Moore is an important part of this offense. I still believe he is, but I think with the other players around, that we're more than capable of basically coming up with a game plan that could be successful. And I do agree there's going to be 8 people in the eight guys in the box to kind of neutralize the Jets running game. And that's where, maybe they might have to play man to man. And maybe that's where Garrett Wilson does get open a lot, or the tight end does get open. I don't know what the Jets are going to do. Maybe they come out with 2 tight ends because they don't have Elijah Moore is not playing, so maybe it's Garrett Wilson and Corey Davis, and they have 2 tight ends out there. Uzama, I don't care about the money, but let's just say, he seemed pretty good last week, run blocking, and he did get 1 or 2 passes. And if that's what he can do for us, I'm more than happy. I don't care about people's salaries as long as we get W's. And I just hope, I think somebody said it. I think it was Charles, and I agree. If we can get pressure on Rippon with 4 guys without doing any exotic blitzes, I mean, they were saying it last week. The Jets kept doing the same stunt. They kept doing the same stunt, and they kept getting to Rodgers. So if we can keep doing that again and confuse this guy, I mean, I think there's going to be opportunities for Sauce and DJ Reed to basically get some interceptions again too. And that's the thing. If we can on special teams or on defense, if we can cause some turnovers or some plays that get us in the Denver zone and make it easier, against the tough defense, I want to see us ahead, so that way the fourth quarter and the high altitude doesn't play a factor. That basically we're ahead, like we have been in the last couple of games, but we're ahead midway through the third quarter, where basically it's out of reach, and basically, like I said, the altitude doesn't play as much of a factor. But that's why also all these substitutions are going to help. And it seems like right now, but when it comes to the defensive substitutions, we can't do anything wrong, So anyway, let's just hope. Let's just get a victory. Come back on here tomorrow and celebrate. And then let's focus on Belichick and then the Bills. The Bills,
I love it.
Bill Belichick and the Buffalo Bills. Okay, thanks, guys.
Yeah, no, great take, Terrence. Like you mentioned, that not having to know who, we don't know the game plan for Brett Rippon, but I'd rather not have a game plan for Brett Rippon than an actual game plan for, Russell Wilson, me personally. But I was gonna close it, but I got some hands up. So let's go with the Crisco Kid, and then we'll go to Chris Mazza. So I'm not gonna bring anybody else up, but go ahead, Crisco Kid, what's up, brother?
What's going on, man? Good evening.
Chris, what up, buddy?
Oh man, look, man, I ate too much, went to sleep, so I just actually got up about half an hour ago. And then I saw you guys were on, and I'm like, oh, I gotta turn this on. I'm gonna knock out some housework before tomorrow, and that's about it. And literally, I mean, I wouldn't say anything new other than what I probably said the other night, man. Check. And matter of fact, I was on a space with Leger Douzable and Connor Rogers, and said the same thing that I had said in I think in the OG space the other night, man. So yeah, look at the story of this offensive line, man. I'm telling you, look at the story of the Broncos offensive line. That, man, it should be like Custer, a little Bighorn tomorrow. This defensive line should absolutely go berserk. I'm gonna jump off and just listen for the rest of the show, but I feel very, very, very good about tomorrow, and I really want to attack Damari Mathis at least once or twice downfield. I really want to I want somebody to get him on a double move. I'm thinking one PI for him tomorrow, and hopefully we'll get the tight ends involved. And you know about Hall and Carter. That's really it, man. I'm just feeling good, and I'm feeling even better that we're actually talking about the opponents.
Yeah, I love the Custer Little Bighorn reference. That was classic, bro.
Thanks.
You heard, but I would love to open first play tomorrow. Hard play action. Put someone out one-on-one on the outside. Line up big on the inside and take your shot. Whether it's Corey Davis or Garrett Wilson, try your shot early. I mean, like out the gate. I would love to see it, man.
We can't get a men's sighting.
Oh,
Yeah,
why not? First down
I
from our 25, 75-yard touchdown. Mims down the sideline. Oh my god!
Just get like that. I would love at least try it. Like Chris just said, who knows? Maybe you get a PI. You get whatever.
Hey Anthony,
Put the pressure on
what's the
early.
most thing you get out of a motivated athlete, bro? I would love for Mims to score a touchdown.
Hey guys, if they win the toss tomorrow, do you defer or do you take the ball?
You defer.
Yeah, Salah's part of that defer thing. Get the ball in the
I think
second
you
half.
defer with our defense being as stout as it is, and then getting it. You put them in a hard place. If you can somehow get the ball towards the end of the half, knowing you're going to get it back after the half, I think deferring is the way to go with.
Yeah, you get the double dip on those points if you can score before the half, and then you get the ball coming out, and even if it's just 3-3, you still double up on points. I always like the
especially with a guy like Rippon coming in, you got the nerves, and our defense is the pressure we have coming at him. I think that you say, all right, come on, bro, see what you got on your first drive. And then we get the ball, and the coin flip meant nothing, and now it does mean something at the half.
But one thing before I jump off, let me ask anybody: did anybody watch any college football today? That's what and me personally, I don't really call it college football. I call it future Jets watching. So is there that's what I watch college football for. I watch college football strictly for us. I mean, there's some teams that I like.
Scouting, man. Scouting from the couch.
Yeah.
He's a couch
but
scout.
Wild though, and I'll end it here. This year has been so good. I don't know our cap space, and usually I know all about that right about now. I don't know what our cap space is. I don't
Yeah,
know.
because we're normally focusing on our picks by now. That's why.
Exactly. I don't have a free agent target list. I mean now
A little over 6 million.
Oh, okay. But I mean that's how far. Usually I'm knee deep in that by now. Usually Usually by this time, as soon as I get up, I've already done 2 mock drafts. One on PFF and one on NFL
Uh,
defense.
if,
I
if
haven't
the first
I
person
haven't done
that
one yet.
the first person that does a mock draft, I'm listening. You guys, this is recorded. You can tell your friends. The first person I see do a mock draft when we're still in the hunt, immediately they're getting blown
You
up.
were
I'm going to
doing them
retweet it.
last night, Justin. What are you talking about?
I didn't put them on Twitter though. That was just a picture. I don't even know half the college kids anymore, man. You're about to do some household chores right now, Chris. I did them all today while football was on. Shame on me, but yeah, it's definitely couch scout season. When you're watching the college game. But same thing though. October last year, this time last year, we were putting Mike White in, getting ready for the Bengals game around Halloween. So we were, oh my God, we won a game. We're winning, we're beating people. Now it's like, we can't lose this one. And that's what we wanted to see was progression from Zach. We wanted to see the team win and play competitive football. And we like Zach said before, we were saying this one's an L, that one's an L, and then we're going to get to the Seattle, the Minnesota, the Lions, the Jacksonville, the games that we said that are W's. Hopefully we're right because we were wrong before. So hopefully we stay. All right, let's change that and now we're right because we can need that. We can use that in another win streak because we do play some tough teams in the division still. We still play Buffalo twice. So, Chris Mazza, go ahead, Chris.
Yeah, I just wanted to talk about the culture a little bit because I feel like you see it even in just the way the media is portraying us now more than ever. I can't remember the last time anybody from the media was talking about the Jets if it wasn't talking about the butt fumble, if it wasn't talking about Sam Darnold seeing ghosts. Like what our playoff percentages now is usually our percentage for the first round pick. So just the fact that Saleh has these guys playing at the level that they are, and the fact that they're all buying into it is such a big deal. And it just, even if I'm optimistic, I've been saying since the summer that 7 spot looks like it has our name on it. Even if it doesn't, I'm so optimistic, cautiously, but optimistic for the future. I mean, we have a lot of solid building blocks, and I think a win tomorrow goes a really, really long way. I know it's one game, but to be 5-2, where people thought we'd probably be 2-5, obviously not us, but like the general consensus is that we weren't going to be in this position. It'd be a major, major statement to the league that we're here and we're ready now.
Yeah. Well, that guy, that Brady Quinn there, he didn't have us even at 2-5. So we're going to give him his credit because that was how we started the show. And that's how we're going to end it with Brady Quinn being the clown that he is. I'm going to win a lot of money from the 5.5 that Vegas has us winning. So we're going with the ending this with Chris's sentiment that we are a good football team and we're in the hunt for the playoffs. And I love it.
Listen, can I just give one handout? I believe, don't take me exactly, but Jets over 9.5 wins, I believe, is plus 550.
9.5?
Yeah. So that's one that I took. I have a pretty penny on the over 5.5. I actually took it with every single person I could put it in with. So I'm gonna parlay some of that because if we don't get 6 wins, I might be missing off this app. So
I love it, man. We're right there, man. Tomorrow hopefully we're getting 5. No, let me speak that into existence. Tomorrow we're getting 5, and we're just gonna keep it rolling, man. It's just a great time to be a Jets fan. It's a great time to, just be enjoying the youth on this team and the rebuild, the coaching staff, and everything. So tomorrow's a big one. And then we get back home for, I think we get 2 at home that way too. So let's get this road trip over with and come back with 2 big ones, 2 games that we thought that we weren't going to win. So with that note, guys, I wanted to make one quick announcement. Don't forget, you can still get your tickets for the home game that we are hosting, tailgate for the Patriots game. It's in Lot F, I believe. That's where we're going to have it. So go to follow our page or message us, and we'll get you tickets set up on our website and everything. So go ahead, Ant. What did you say?
No, it's Lot F11 section. Lot F section 11. Yep.
All right, it's gonna be a good time. We have our DJ. We got the grills going: sausage, peppers, onions, cheesesteaks, burgers. Happy Dad. We have a good time. Cornhole, and then hanging out with your people that you know from chatting on here and what have you. So it's gonna be a good time, and let's focus on this game. But our next home game, we're gonna have a good time and all be hanging out together again. So Zach's got his hand up. So go ahead, Zach. Say your pieces out, and then we'll let the credits roll. Go ahead.
Yep. No, I just want to thank everybody for coming in, showing support to Justin's new show. He does excellent as always. And thank you to Anthony for helping him co-host. And one other thing, I don't know if you guys are paying attention to, I tweeted out about 10 minutes ago. There will be a free giveaway tomorrow at noon Eastern time. Brand new Jet jersey of your choice, color, player. And I'll be doing that. I'll be doing that personally from my account because it was a 10,000 follower. I don't know. I reached 10,000, so I wanted to pay
Celebrate.
back. So if anybody's not paying attention to the main thread out there in Twitterland, then I'm letting you guys know. Just noon, you'll see a tweet from me that the same guess your number from 1 to 150 probably tomorrow, and whoever wins will get a free jersey. Compliments of me and paying thank you for the support.
Zach, that's awesome, man. You really are a genuine person, man. I know you personally, so that's really, really, really cool, man. So definitely tune in for all that good stuff and follow each other on here, support each other. We're all Jets fans, so support each other. Come on all the shows. PD has a show Monday night. Tomorrow during the halftime show, Ray Tenard and Benny will be doing halftime show. After the game will be the OGs with Zach and Anthony, and then then Monday night is, like I said, PD, and then I think Wednesday night is Joe and Kenny. So, and then Thursday night's the OG show again, and then I'm Saturday night. So follow each other, get in on all the good stuff, get in on the Discord. They do great giveaways with Pat Dunn over there, the streaming channel. If you have friends and family that are out of network and they have a way to watch the game, be hanging out watching stuff. So definitely get in on all the good stuff, and let's go Jets, man. I'm ready. It's a great
Hey,
time.
and one
Let's
last
go.
thing, just I see Miss Connie down there. I don't know if anyone hasn't seen the NFL film on Connie and where she started to where she is now and all the things she did in between for the Jets. So that was an awesome piece. So if anyone hasn't seen it, just send me a DM and I'll send you guys the link. But definitely something you guys want to take a look at. Super, super interesting.
Yeah, so everybody, thanks again for coming in. If you were a speaker tonight, thanks for coming in and sharing your thoughts. If you're a listener, thanks for coming in and listening. Connie, thanks for coming in and listening. Anthony, Zach, again, thank you for co-hosting. And I will see you guys tomorrow. Enjoy the game, be safe, and love one another.
Get up, baby.
Yep.